What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second, hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us anywhere and everywhere at My Cowboys Family, and of course, hop in the Discord link for that's in the description box down below.
Kicking off a brand new week, guys, right here. Free agency has begun for the Dallas Cowboys. I told you last night that there was going to be some free agent moves starting today after 4 p.m. And yeah. And some of these things we knew was coming, like Zeke. And some of these we didn't know, like our linebacker veteran there. And some guys we've lost. And some, moves are coming now for the Cowboys like we expected. And we got a couple post-draft possibilities we want to discuss tonight, amongst other things. Jersey numbers, like we just said, Gallup gone, these other guys on. So we'll talk about it all and more here, kicking off a brand new week. But first, let's introduce first-time winner here on My Cowboys Family on the Sponsor of the Week board, and first-time winner as the Cash App King, the great SCO971. Appreciate you, SCO.
Ooh.
Dominating it on the After Dark sessions. Right there, you see some of the Cash App and PayPal ways. The man's dominating it. So much love to him. He is our champion, big winner. He gets in the raffle for our monthly raffle. We'll explain that in a minute. Much love to SCO971. And then Zachary Carrasco hanging on with 7 points on the Stream Boss. Someone may take that over tonight. We'll see what happens.
That's right. And
then the gifting board, a three-peat for Jason Renfro, the gifting champion. Thank you, sir. Nobody on the gifting board, of course, kicking off a brand new week. No one's gifted a membership yet. But there have been people that dropped Cash App and overall love in the After Dark sessions and pre-stream session, like Dwayne Broussard with that pre-stream $2 holler. And a Go Cowboys from
Always
him.
Go Cowboys.
And, also on the After Dark side, we got SCO971 trying to maybe do a repeat session. We'll see what happens. But he is in third place on the board with Marissa Sparkle in second and McLovin in first. And again, not just on the overall board, McLovin's loving that Cash App Kingdom as well. He is the leader currently on that side of things, starting off the week early. So again, much love to everybody on the boards. SCO971, Zachary Carrasco, Jason Renfro, McLovin, and the rest that dropped the love here. There's other ways of dropping the love, not just the super chat or the thanks button, joining the membership or gifting memberships, right? I think like tomorrow, Dwayne Broussard's, his membership comes back up, so he's like joining it. And then you're in it, you can gift memberships, which means you can get, it's one of the best ways of giving the love back to the family here. People without, memberships would get a free trial if you were, if people gift memberships. So that's one way of helping out. That's why Jason Renfro on the top board there. So appreciate all those 4 ways of dropping the love. But there's 4 other ways, which again, a lot of this is on the After Dark channel. And this is the way people drop the love there. There's 4 different ways, baby. If they do it here, you're challenging the Cash App crown as well.
You have, of course, the Cash App, money sign My Cowboys Family, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and last but not least, that Streamlabs link lets your comment show up on screen just like a Super Chat would.
Hell yeah. And also, we got memberships, of course, Navy Blue level, Silver 2 level, the Star and Over Everything level memberships as well. Those are the top shelf, and anybody in those levels can win one of these Sewn and Stitch jerseys. Cowboy player, any team, any sport even. Mm-hmm. But of what we have available, you guys can pick from. This ain't the Cowboy Mosh jersey. This is the MCF jersey. So sewn and stitched, a lot of different choices, styles, sizes, the whole thing. New players, old players. Now, none of the rookies I think are out yet, but they may be coming halfway in the season. We'll see what happens. But either way, that's what's available to win in this jersey raffle. And we do on the monthly here. If you're in both of these levels, you're automatically entered. Star level gets one raffle entry over everything gets 2 raffle entries. But you also get raffle entries if you're a weekly winner. And yes, Mr. McLovin has 2 entries from this month of April, while Mr. SCO971 has another entry there from being a weekly winner last week. So appreciate you guys. Those are the 3 guys in this month's April upcoming monthly jersey raffle. There are bonus entries there because they were the big weekly winners. And because of that, I'm just saying that's going to be done this week sometime. So be prepared. It's going to have to be probably the 30. It could be tomorrow. It could be a couple days into May. But we will do this raffle this week. And you just got to stay in the membership, guys. If you're in it, you automatically get an entry there. So much love to everybody in every level, especially the Star and Over Everything, which will be being raffled off this week, that jersey. Now, also, we have the nightly, there's other perks in there, like the nightly shout-outs for the Star and Over Everything level. So, baby, represent them for me, please.
Of course. Thank you very much to Skeptical Fan, Jason Renfro, Lincoln Kane, Dwayne Broussard, Marissa Sparkle, Choctaw Montana 808, The Lunatic, and, of course,
Over Everything.
Seabass.
Yes, Over Everything. So, appreciate you guys, and hey, we'll see who's the big winner from that list, as well as the weekly winners like SCO and McLovin, who has 2 raffle entries. We'll see who wins that when we do the raffle sometime this week. And then the last major raffle, because of this draft just ending, but we're going to have these rookies in the mix for the next couple of weeks. So we're going to keep this raffle going and give you guys a chance to get in this. You can build raffle entries to get that. There's going to be 2 jerseys raffled off. Same deal. You know what I'm saying? The sewn and stitched. If you're from some other team, you can pick from another team. There's also other sports, but Cowboys, we got the most choices available for that, for this raffle. And you got, again, old school, new school, the whole deal, authentic like jerseys. You can win. We're going to have 2 winners, and each one's going to win a jersey of their choice of what we have available. How do they get in this raffle, baby? It's brought to you by The Lunatic.
That's right. If you drop $10, bam, you're automatically entered. And of course, those entries do stack. So every additional $10 is an additional entry, and that is unlimited. So, the sky's the limit as far as how many you can enter. And one of the great things about it is once you are in the raffle, you do get an additional bonus entry if you're an MCF member.
Yeah, any level, navy blue, silver, star, all those things. If you're in there, once you hit the $10 mark, you get a bonus entry there. Again, the bonus entries or stacking your entries ups your chances to maybe have a better chance to. You can only need 1 to win, but if you have more raffle entries, bigger chance, better chance, you have a chance to win one of these 2 jerseys. So good luck to everybody in this, and big shout outs to The Lunatic for bringing this. Much love to him. This is for the draft, and we had a pretty good one in my opinion. I think you guys voted on this, and you guys agreed. So anyways, if you have any questions, you can hit ! Raffle on this thing. You can type in the chat, and the wife or I will address that question when it comes to this raffle coming up. And we don't know when it's going to happen yet. Probably next week sometime. We don't want to overlap raffles, but it's next week or maybe in another week. So you can still stack these up as long as we have this going. Right? We started last Sunday. We're 8 days into this. And, we have like maybe, 5 or 6 people in the raffle. So you can build up to that and, either more people or more raffle entries if you're already in this thing or join it. So much love to everybody and big shout outs, big love to The Lunatic doing the thing here. So, baby, who's in the house ready to discuss some Cowboy football tonight with us?
That's right. We have Thomas Garrett. Much love to the Superior Garrett. Scorpio representing. Shout out to you.
Yeah, Scorpio. I hope he's, doing better.
Brandon James, what's up? Rolando Rodriguez in the house. Of course, the man himself, Jason Renfro.
Hey.
I guess I will wish you a happy birthday, real shit. I hope you do have a good birthday at least.
Happy birthday, real shit.
Cowboys #1 fan, what's up?
Fuck the Steelers.
Always. I don't care if it's your birthday.
Yeah.
Garland Stroman, what's up? Saying Zeke is the transmission of our offense. So, hey, some people think we might have, that's our transmission. We're running with the 200K beater, maybe, depending on your mindset. That's all I'm saying.
We need to upgrade that transmission. I still think so.
So, Cab 52, the truest statement. Fuck the Eagles, always. So.
Oh. And there's Jason Renfro with a $1.97 holler. And you know what he said? Go Cowboys.
Oh, thank you, Jason.
Big
Go
shout out
Cowboys.
Jason Renfro. By the way, that board up there, Mr. Carrasco, hanging on by a hair right now with 5 on it. $5 holler takes. You get on that stream, boss. You're bossing the stream around.
Let me see. Orion Files, what's up? Colin K, hello and hi. Daniel Berry Sports, much love to you as well. Dustin Roberts. We have almost shouted myself out. So, Desmond Ironman. Let me see. That's actually as far back as I can go, at least on my side here. So, Steve has said, what will $5 get me?
You get on the stream boss there.
Yeah.
That's what it gets you. And you get on the board and you're 5 away from a raffle entry, Steve S. I know how you lurk. I ain't expected much from you. I know what he's about. But hey, if he wants to join, 10 gets you in the raffle. 5, as at this point, 5 takes that stream boss. Someone jumps in front of you, well, and then you just take 5 off of them.
So, and with that said, baby, let me go ahead and kind of, hand things off officially to you. And we did take an extra 5 minutes, guys, since we were watching the end of that basketball game as well. So
Laker
hopefully,
game,
if you guys are watching, that was quite the ending.
So happy the Lakers are out. That's a good thing. I like that.
Let me see. Oh, MCF After Dark. I wonder who that is.
After Dark is in the house.
Who's that?
I don't know.
So
you guys have to check it out.
James Herr, by the way, said Jerry Headline Jones.
That's what he likes. He likes to say, look, it's the headlines. It's also other things. We'll talk about Zeke here in a quick moment. But first, we're going to go through some NFL news, info, and updates. So let me get rolling here. This is, we had a lot of news on the Cowboys today, but it's not like, that deep to get into tonight. It's not like we have a lot of real questions about things. We kind of...
It's the dust settling from the last 24, 48 hours and the little details of that.
Yeah, so... We knew that something was in the works with Zeke. Everybody knew this. A lot of people, not just like this content creator, that content. Some content creators tried to say they knew what was happening. They have their sources. And also people on Twitter saying that. Whatever. I don't even care. It doesn't matter to me because it's never official until it's official. So, yes, when they sign that dotted line, it's a done deal. But we did talk about Zeke yesterday. Basically giving hints that he's going to be playing with the Cowboys, very soon. And, of course, we know he is a Cowboy. It was literally early this morning, where Zeke was signed. But before we get to Zeke, let's get into some NFL news real quick. And let me give you some names here. Randy Moss, Julian Edelman, Drew Bledsoe, Rob Gronkowski. I'll tell it in a minute here because we got Cav 52 with that $20 a holla in the house. That's through the StreamYards there, if I'm not mistaken. Streamlab, I'm sorry. What did Cat 52 say as he makes, listen, not only does he do the drop to take over the stream boss, but he jumps right there in that tie with Marissa Sparkle. Actually, and it's in third place, right behind Marissa Sparkle right now. I'll update that in a minute. Cat 52 is the stream boss as we get into the Cowboy free agency period kicking off this week. What did Cat 52 have to say, baby?
Been working nights, so I can't be on often.
Hey,
go Cowboys.
Appreciate you being here with us, hearing a little Cowboy news info and updates, right?
I have to admit, I miss the regular season, Cowboy barbecue pictures, because those always, get everybody going there in the Discord. Thank you so much, Cab52. Appreciate you, and hopefully your schedule can accommodate the occasional MCF stream every once in a while.
Yes, I'm glad you're here for at least a little bit of this one, or hopefully the whole one if you can. But exactly. I will say this. Just an example, right? I mean, I know he's not in the membership, but guess what just happened with that drop? Mr. Cat 52, he is now part of the Lunatics raffle.
That's right.
And that means he dropped $20 holler. That's 2 raffle entries already, just upping his chances, doubling his chances just like that. So much love to Cat 52 for getting it in here, giving his 2 cents, dropping the love for the, showing the love here for the channel. But also, I want to remind him he's also now officially in the raffle with 2 entries. That's where we're standing with him right now. You can still add to that if you wanted to.
That's right.
That's how that goes. So appreciate you, much love, and go Cowboys. Our stream boss, Cab 52.
That's right. Skeptical fan, by the way. Shout out to you, much
Skeptical
love.
in the house.
What's up, John Womack? I see Popeye Peach in there. Mike Aldana, much love. And by the way, Popeye Peach, no, it actually is official now. So, I know last night we said it, it
wasn't official
had not
yet.
been signed on the dotted line this morning.
Right. Well, it always dependent on a physical. That was the news in the morning, and he passed the physical, so we're good. So he's officially on the Cowboys. So, but let's get to that in a minute. We got other names real quick, and this is NFL news stuff here. Randy Moss, Julian Edelman, Drew Bledsoe, Rob Gronkowski, all 4 of these guys and others are some of the people that are going to roast Tom Brady.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
It's going to be on May 5th live on Netflix. So, if you're a Netflix, subscriber, you got May 5th, you got a little, little roast of the GOAT. It's called the greatest roast of all time, Tom Brady. So
that's a good one.
Keep an eye on that for that if you guys are wanting to see a little comedy, a little fun, a little poking the fun at. There's a lot of things to make fun of Tom Brady, but, he does have, 7 rings? Now, what about another guy who's retired? Jason Kelce from the Eagles. Recently retired Jason Kelce now is headed to ESPN. And he's going to be part of their Monday Night Football pregame show. So now he's going to be, kind of in the studio, right? If you remember the Sunday night games, you had Jason Garrett in the studio. So you're going to have, Jason Kelce. His next stop is now ESPN studio pregame host for their Monday Night Football, upcoming game. Now, his brother Jason Kelce's brother, Travis Kelce, today, the All-Pro, Pro Bowl tight end Travis Kelce agreed to terms on a new 2-year contract extension, making him the highest paid tight end in the NFL. His contract extension basically adds on 2 years and another $34.25 million to the 2 years remaining on his old deal. Now he has guaranteed money in 2024 with additional money vesting every year by year. And he signed through 2027. At that age, he'll be 38 years old. So that's probably the end of Kelce when he gets to that number. Or at least this level of Kelce. That'll be over with. Now, one other player I wanted to mention that is also trying to get onto a team right now. And again, this is the Cowboy free agency period, so you never know. But 5-time Pro Bowl wide receiver Jarvis Landry, he's expected to now participate in the Jacksonville Jaguar upcoming rookie camp. They're checking him out. And so, again, he sat out last season, Jarvis Landry.
Yeah. He's
still 31 years old. Still playable. And he's fully healthy and ready to return. So, again, right now with Jacksonville, he's trying out, but we'll see what happens with that. I've always been a fan of Jarvis Landry. But I don't know if the Cowboys care to have him in the mix after getting, another receiver or two undrafted and the receiver in the draft.
Yeah, we know that they definitely prefer the younger guys and the, undrafted, untested, over a even sort of previously established player like Jarvis Landry.
Yeah. Yeah, so Cowboys rather run with Fortnoy, Flournoy, whatever his name is. Yeah, so that's that situation. Now, there's one last situation. You see him on our, thumbnail. Bottom left. He's in blue, but he's going to be wearing that black and silver because he's now officially, Michael Gallup, number 13, is now a Las Vegas Raider. Yeah. Former Cowboy receiver Michael Gallup is signing a 1-year deal worth up to, not going to get the whole $3 million, but up to $3 million to the Vegas Raiders. Supposedly he's healthy now, more than 2 years removed from that ACL and MCL tear that happened in that Cardinal game 2 years ago, or over 2 years ago. The Raiders came out of the draft, and they lacked proven receiver depth, kind of with us with running back. So Gallup fixes that issue as far as veteran. He had 34 catches for the Cowboys last year, 418 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now he's going to compete for that third spot. Now he was in Dallas as a third receiver. He's going to be the third receiver competing for that third spot. He might be the fourth receiver with the Raiders. He's competing with Trey Tucker for that 3 spot. The thing I'm going to tell Raider fans, I know some of them are out there celebrating, but they got to remember, number one, he does not create separation even before the injury. He does have that foot drag swag he can do, and he makes some nice catches, but he had some drops as well. Just saying, he the last couple of years after the injury, he's not been the same Michael Gallup everyone remembers. I will say this, though. This is how you sign. If you're going to take a chance on Michael Gallup,
up to $3 million.
Right, exactly. We paid him up to $13 million a year. That's why Michael Gallup for $3 million, you roll the dice. Michael Gallup for $13, $11, or $12 million, you say, fuck that shit. You don't do that deal. But Jerry Jones had to do it. He had to do it.
What do you have to say about the $2 holler from Skeptical Fan?
Hit me with it. Much love, by the way, to Skeptical, taking cab to 98 points. What did the man say? The man staying skeptical.
What number is Zeke choosing?
We don't know yet. Not been announced yet. Not yet. Well, I'm sure we'll hear that soon.
I was going to say, let us know in the chat if you think that he'll go back to repping 21 or if he will go back to his college number, which I still think is highly likely. I have a feeling that the organization will probably lovingly, gently push him towards repping 21 again, just because from a branding perspective, it probably,
Yeah, but imagine if he goes to 15, and I'm not sure. I think someone took 15, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and you guys are saying it. Trey Lance has 15. I'm pretty sure that Zeke would still.
If Zeke really wanted that number, he'd buy that from Trey Lance. But if Trey Lance wanted to sell it to him, now here's the thing. I think that number one, no Gilmore. So 21 is open. He's going to get 21. It'd be easier to just resell those 21s again, like you said. But if you made them 15, people got to buy new jerseys. Mm-hmm. That means more money for Jerry Jones on a one-year deal.
Jerry would love that.
So it cuts both ways. But we'll talk about Zeke in a little bit. I promise it's coming up. We got a lot to talk about with Zeke and another movie we made because we're talking about Gallup leaving. We got guys coming in. Now, I wanted to finish with Gallup here, but again, much love to the skeptical fan.
Definitely wishing Gallup the best.
Of
but
course.
It is still, it's hard to not be, like, that last bit of frustration showed itself and is now
Not his
gone
fault,
because, like
though.
you guys said, he's no longer a Dallas Cowboy. No, it's not his fault. It's just unfortunate that our front office, again, invested so much into him to see such a small return. And
I agree, but that is their own fault. They overpaid for a guy that was coming off a ACL, MCL tear. A receiver that's a very major part of his freaking whole, a receiver's legs are extremely important to run down the field, run routes, of course, and be, to try to create separation with moves and just it just sucked for him, and it sucked for him to have that injury, but it sucked for our Cowboys front office to pay an average of 11, 12, 13 million. I think he had it was going 11, 12, 13, 14 million dollars. It was like an average, like a $12.5 million deal for him per year. Yep. And that's just overpaying. I know he's going to be our number 3, but just overpaying for a guy who the Joneses hoped he'd be our number 2, basically. So look, it's just a shame, and that's the way it's going to be. But I think Raider fans may think he's like the Gallup of old, not realizing that after the ACL tear, he was definitely even worse with his already issues that he had,
and
which is creating separation.
Trying to rush him back as fast as we did certainly didn't help.
I said that the day they did that, and I'm like, that's not a good idea. I remember the Giants game in the rain, and he was going to play in that game.
We were desperate at the time. We needed someone out there, and
it didn't help us, and it didn't help him. So it's a bad move. That's the front office for you. So bye Michael Gallup. Good luck to him.
Yeah. Wish you the best in the future endeavors.
Now let's dive into the Cowboys. We'll talk about the draft stuff. We'll talk about the draft stuff a little later, but let's start with, again, free agent moves being made. We talk about that. Zeke, he's back. He returns. Mm-hmm. Ezekiel Elliott, like we figured was going to happen, but wasn't official until today. Ezekiel Elliott is now a Dallas Cowboy once again. Ooh. So Cowboys officially, back with Zeke. He signed a 1-year deal. So a year after releasing him for monetary purposes. And saving money on the cap, people realize, with his production, with the money he was getting paid, it was not worth keeping him to take a $16 million cap hit. People were like, well, now we got him back. See, you fucked up. No, it would have been stupid for the Cowboys to keep Zeke in the condition he was in for paying him. We're going to take $16 million cap hits. Now, we've taken a couple years of cap hits, $6 million, $5 million. But the thing is, we saved $20 million. On cutting him early, and that's what's important. For this deal, of course, we released him last year. Decline of production didn't match his high salary. That's why we cut him. So he's coming back. Remember, we left in good terms. We said, you never know, right? Jerry Jones loves Zeke, and Zeke obviously loves the Dallas team, the area. So, has a home there. The leading rusher, the 2-time leading rusher, Ezekiel Elliott, and third all-time rushing leader in Cowboy history has returned to the Cowboys to add to those numbers. Zeke, he played last year with the New England Patriots. He agreed to a 1-year deal with the Cowboys. It is worth up to $3 million. It's worth $3 million. Let me put it that way. It's worth $3 million. We'll get the details of that, but we know that $2 million of that is guaranteed. So I'll break it down for you guys in a minute, but just keep that in mind. $3 million for a 1-year deal, $2 million guaranteed. Zeke was scheduled this morning at 8 a.m. for a physical with the Cowboys and consummate the deal. Once he did pass his physical, boom, it became official after 4 p.m., so there's no comp situation going to the Patriots. You guys feel me? So Zeke returned as the Cowboys' starting running back. And this one is, you got me on this one, baby, because I cannot believe the Cowboys are putting him on that pedestal as a starting running back, even though I know, we all know he will not be used as he was as a starting running back in the past. At least I hope not. If we do, that's going to be bad, in my opinion.
Before we knew any details of anything, we started hearing, like, okay, very likely Zeke's coming back. You were the one that kind of said it. We don't necessarily know who they want as the quote-unquote starter until we see the contract and the money breakdowns, just because, the dude who gets paid the most is probably the starter.
Right.
It just, and obviously it's a very easy simplification, but the point is that that's obviously the mindset of the Cowboys as far as like, okay, like if you wanted to give it a who's the 1, 2, 3.
Well, you had said that you were going to be, like he was going to be the starter. He comes back here, and I said, I think he'll be like unknowingly a rotational back. But as of right now, with our lineup that we have in front of us, and the fact that it was announced that he's our starting running back, that part bothers me. But, and again, guys, vote on your thoughts on this Zeke deal. There's a poll up right now. Vote and give us your thoughts on that. But we'll touch on that at the end of what we discuss here. Before we go to the next topic, the other guy we picked up. But before we get there, I want to make sure we get the poll hit. Make sure we touch on the poll and the numbers there from you guys in the chat. So, as we're looking at this, and look at the guys on our roster at running back. Right now we have Rico Dowdle, who I'd say is going to get a lot more snaps this year, no matter what Zeke is listed as a starter or not. So Rico Dowdle, you got Royce Freeman, who's more of a Zeke type of guy. I think one or the other one makes his team, meaning Zeke or Royce Freeman. The other guy's cut possibly. We'll have to wait and see. But those guys are both, they're both the tough rushing yards, the tough yards inside. So that's where you're getting. That's where you get Royce Freeman in a matchup like with Zeke. Now you got little Deuce Vaughn, you got Hunter Lipke, the fullback, and then you got a bunch of guys that are on the practice squad mindset. Which last year Snoop Connor, he's kind of a futures contract guy. So usually those guys end up on the practice squad. Malik Davis was a practice squad guy last year. I think he's actually very good. I think he's better than a practice squad guy, but we're kind of good there in the back end with Malik Davis, Snoop Connor, and the guy we just picked up, Nathaniel Pete, as an undrafted rookie free agent. So those are the three guys kind of practice squad, fighting for the practice squad. And I think Lipke, Deuce Vaughn's in trouble a little bit here. You got Royce Freeman, you got Rico Dowdle, and you got Ezekiel Elliott. So just based on the name, and listen, this contract, I'm going to break it down a little bit more for you, but it's not really that expensive. He's not really necessarily the most highest paid guy, although he is, I think, the highest paid running back. It's not by much. And the thing is that all these guys are around the same. Rico, Royce Freeman, and Zeke are all in the same area as far as pay.
Yeah.
So, and even though Zeke has the most out of those guys, so Zeke is the de facto starter, but I think it's going to be a rotation of backs. It's going to be multiple different views of these running backs, the way we use them, and it's going to be
running back by committee,
yes,
if you will.
Yes. So some other thoughts about this situation. What do you think about this? The Cowboys probably would have gone younger, but the draft didn't fall their way. So
yeah, Steven made that pretty clear. I think on day 2 of the draft.
We're not So the Cowboys did not want to reach for a running back need. And that's smart, I got to say, unless it was Jonathan Brooks, which I think they were going to do. Thank goodness. Thank you, Carolina, for taking him off the board. The retooled offense with the Cowboys' offensive line. That is a major increase here. Will we see a little bit more from Zeke? Better Zeke than we did 2 years ago because the offensive line is, we don't know if it's going to be better, but we're assuming it's going to be better even though there's 2 rookies on it.
Yeah, and spoiler alert, when I share my Zeke thoughts, that's going to be my biggest point there. So
but that also helps Rico and other guys, not just Zeke. So everybody gets help with a retooled offensive line. Should be better than last year, especially in the run game, and definitely better than the one he ran behind in New England, right? Now, this year, there's a lot of pressure, right? The all-in bullshit from Jerry Jones. And a lot of guys we have, coaches and players, are finishing their deals on 1-year deals right now. Zeke getting a 1-year deal. So a presence like Zeke and everybody kind of, a veteran like him and knows the team, it's kind of a good thing to have, I would say. Even though he's kind of like a player coach in a way, even though he's the starter. I think he's a player, like a player's coach almost in a way. So not a bad thing to have Zeke. I just wish we'd get another guy. I don't know. I wish we'd get maybe a little bit higher level quality guys along with Zeke. Not making Zeke the de facto starter, but look, we're trying to look the good and bad and the ugly here. So, first 3, when it comes to the championship and winning a NFC championship or a Super Bowl, I think they believe they got to fix it in other ways. Not the running back is not as important to fix, even though we missed in the draft. And overall, guys, this for the locker room. Let's see how things shake out for Zeke. And the running backs, too, with his veteran presence. You know what I mean? So I think it's good across that side of things. The front office, the report is they were looking at Dalvin Cook as well.
Okay.
Which is interesting. He's still out there. No one really cares about him right now. So we'll see what happens. But I'm going to go back to the draft for a second. Because to me, that's when the Cowboys did not select a running back in the 3rd round. with the linebacker there. And we were looking at running back. We didn't want to reach for running back. We didn't want to reach for running back in the second either. So in the third round, when we had, Lufau at linebacker, and they went with the linebacker with maybe a higher upside than reaching for a running back they didn't really feel comfortable in going for. So when we didn't get that third rounder and went all the way to the end of the fifth for the next pick, all the running backs were gone. The ones that Cowboys really, really wanted. So they felt that, they already had anything after that third round, fourth round, which we didn't have a pick. Anything after that, the player you draft will not be better than Zeke immediately.
Okay.
Like, Zeke will be better than whoever that is. So that's why the Cowboys are like, well, forget the running back then at this point. We got Zeke for 1 year. We'll worry about the running back next year or something like that. So,
which, again, agree or disagree with bringing Zeke back, I don't think that's an incorrect statement by, or incorrect assumption by our front office there, that whoever we were to get, pretty much by the time we went to go pick in the fifth round, I have to agree, whatever kind of initial burst or upside you think that they would have is probably going to be second to Zeke's experience and knowledge and current ability. Yeah.
And you got to remember, think about this. Last year we
Even
got
his current production, possibly.
Last year we got Deuce Vaughn.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not saying he was the right pick or not, but that's the kind of running back you're pulling for. You get one guy from the Seattle. I think he's like a starter, kind of in the fifth round. There's only last year was really deep at running back.
Oh yeah.
But my point is, if you're gonna go and get a running back in the fifth, sixth, or seventh round, probability is he's probably not overall better than Zeke. And look, Zeke, people are gonna say he blocks great, guys. He's been a great blocker in the past. But his last year with us, and Tony Pollard was a better blocker when they were both together. So you got to remember that his blocking skills and pass protection have dropped some. He's not the guy he was, running, catching, and blocking. But he is better than some others out there, and definitely rookies. They want protection for Dak. Zeke will give him better protection than a rookie would in the fifth, sixth, or seventh round. You guys, I think that's the way this thing's breaking down. If they had drafted Trey Benson in the third round, Zeke wouldn't be on this team, or if he was, he would not be called the starter. It'd be Trey Benson be the starter.
Now, remember, Jerry said it, on, I can't remember if it was like the first night of the draft, second night or whatever, but he straight up said, he's like, Zeke is absolutely a starter. Like, if you were watching him with the Patriots and you weren't paying attention, we fully consider him a starter. So, like, what? Well, what did it look like when the last time Zeke was playing football?
Let's talk about it, because
I have to admit, I don't really remember him being all that impressive.
Well, listen, with us, we ended his time with the Cowboys ended with him having like a 9-game touchdown streak. So he was short yardage proven even when he was at his worst with the Cowboys. And last year, listen, the offensive line wasn't that great. The offense wasn't that good. He did what he led the team in receptions. Then not playing that much. So he's still catching the ball. Not like he used to do, but he's still catching the ball effectively out the backfield, can get the short yardage stuff effectively out the backfield, and can block good enough, not as good as he used to be. Now, I just want to go back to the running back situation in the draft. It came down to the linebacker, Maris Liafau, at number 87 versus a running back with a lower grade. So, again, they were doubtful that Liafau would get into the fifth round. They would roll the dice on the running back. Instead of letting a linebacker go and risking losing him, they'd rather lose the running backs that they would have reached for in the end of the third round there.
And I'm assuming that, again, having Zeke waiting in the wings was also part of that decision. It's not like we had a Zeke equivalent at linebacker. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does.
A Zeke-like linebacker that we liked, that we wanted to sign, that we felt could, hang in the same way, like a 5th or 6th round linebacker.
No, I know, but I was saying, today we got another guy at linebacker that returns to the Cowboys for the third time. So it's like the Zeke deal is like literally today we had 2 deja vus.
Yeah, like the Zeke of linebackers.
Anyway,
we'll
you just literally said that.
I know.
So again,
I actually completely forgot about that move. I'm not that was not a pre-planned thing there, guys.
But for the Cowboys to get it, if the Cowboys had gotten another pick or kept that pick of Trey Lance in the fourth round, that would have probably been the running back. But they stood with that third round pick with Luafau and just said, we're going to go with the linebacker and see what he can produce as a starter more for next season, this year getting worked in there, starting to get worked in there. But I'm going to talk about the New England Ezekiel Elliott real quick for a moment. But first, the man Calvin Richard dropping that 5 on it, taking Cat 52 down to 93 points. What did Calvin have to say, baby?
I think Jeep would be more effective with a fullback, a fullback-ish lead blocker.
I think he's saying Zeke,
so I'm
right?
guessing it was Zeke, and that your phone just decided that, it
Zeke
really likes Jeeps.
You got to get used to Zeke again. The phone forgot 2 years ago using the Zeke.
Yeah, Jeep the freak. I'm sorry, Calvin Richards. I promise you. Just having a little fun there. But yes, I also agree that Zeke would probably be more effective with a fullback-ish Lee blocker.
Well, again, that's why you have, what's his name? Mr. Hunter Lipke, right? He's going to probably be your fullback, that you're going to be seeing in front of him. Also, we got some undrafted guy,
yes,
a tight end, right? Forward, the hyphenation.
Guy,
he's a guy that's going to be he's the tight end that we got undrafted. He's a guy that's going to also play that inline fullback role if he makes the team. So we'll see. We might cut Lipke and just use him. That's a possibility as well.
So, and I guess quick spoiler alert. Like I said, I was going to mention this on my personal Zeke thoughts. But yeah, it really just depends. Do you agree with the Cowboys' philosophy on what they're trying to do with the O-line? Because and it's not like you're right or wrong. It's just you either agree or you don't.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
We also have to, whether you agree or disagree, it doesn't matter because this is what we got. Some people don't like Zeke there. We got Zeke. We got to deal with it. And that's it. When you look at the last 5 games of his career so far with the Patriots, he had 72 carries in those 5 games. He only had 213 yards in 5 games. That's under 50 yards average a game. He averaged per carry 2.96 yards. But we're not looking for him to be a 3 or 4 or 5 yard guy. No, we're looking for him to be. We need those solid 2-3 yards. But this also shows you he doesn't have that initial kind of that, I don't say burst, but that ability to push through as easily as he did in the past. Good line or bad line, he's gotten older and beat up a little bit, and he's lost a little bit there. Now he also had. This is where I think we get a little bit more out of Zeke, but he only had 27 catches in his last 5 games with the Patriots. Overall, he was their leading receiver catch-wise, but he had 27 catches in the last 5 games. He had 157 yards, and he scored 3 total touchdowns on the ground and in the air. With 5 games, you got some production in there. You get the touchdowns, red zone, you get some catches. He'll help a little bit in the pass blocking, but running is for the short yardage stuff. So that's it. That's what you're getting with Zeke, guys. It's not a you're not. Some people are saying there, Zeke is going to save the team. He ain't going to save the team. We just got to use him properly. If we use him as a full-time starting running back only, we're going to lose in the running game. Yeah, I don't care how many people are blocking. I was going
to say, I think the closest you can say Zeke is going to save us from is those 3rd and goals where we're like a yard away from the end zone and we still somehow can't just punch the ball through.
We saw it last year. We had problems with Lipke. He fumbled. We had problems with Pollard. He wasn't had the upper body strength.
So in that sense, no matter which way you slice it, Zeke is an improvement there. Yeah. So go ahead and throw in an extra, let's say, 2 touchdowns, right? That we should have gotten that we didn't get because of exactly
Zeke,
that reason.
It would have been probably in the end zone. So yeah, even though there's some other issues with Zeke, he was not like he was in the past. Some people are overhyping him in some ways. We know what he can do. And the Cowboys got to use him for those things that he still can do well. Calvin Richard, another 5 on it. And now, guess what he does, baby? He's now, with that back-to-back $5 holler, he's officially in the jersey raffle. Coming up soon, and you can keep stacking him. If he's in the membership, I don't think he is, but if he's in the membership, he would be getting a bonus raffle entry. And every 10 on top of that, he keeps adding and getting a better chance to win one of these sewn and stitched jerseys. We're going to raffle 2 of them away. It's going to be 2 winners with a jersey apiece. We'll see what happens. So, much love to Calvin Richard. What do you have to say?
Why do you think Emmett lasted so long? The Moose, number 48. Yeah, Moose Johnson again. The game of football has changed. We definitely saw fullbacks fall out of fashion. I feel like they have become fashionable again in the last 2-ish years in the sense that you're seeing teams incorporate them again. For lower prices, though. Than it was. I'm just saying, they're using them now, but they're definitely using them at a lower rate. I'm not going to discuss anything other than their, the usage. The usage. Yeah, so I'm just saying that you are seeing teams value and look at fullbacks a little bit more, but similar to the way that running back usage and linebacker usage has changed a lot in the last 5 years in the NFL. Fullback is also one of those positions where you're seeing fullbacks that are not just the kind of Daryl Moose Johnson type of stopper. They are more versatile, right? They give you a little bit more. Look at Juszczyk, right? He's a guy who can catch, block, run, all those things. Yeah. So you got a whole party trick. Odell's still out there, by the way, in case you're wondering. 44 marks. But OBJ got a job at Amazon, so smoothies. I'm sorry. That was funny. The thing about Zeke is that
look, I know what you're saying there, as far as about Emmett lasting. I think that Zeke, it's too late to make him last longer. But I think that with the offensive line improvements, especially interior, I think that with, Tyler Smith's keeping him at tackle, Zach Martin there, I think that this center we got with BB, if he can just snap the goddamn ball, everything else seems like he's good on everything, even snapping the ball. So if he's solid there, and we got that tackle Guyton at the left tackle, Zeke, when we run, and I don't think this will be that often, when we run, Zeke should have better opportunity to get an extra half a yard a carry or something at least. And that's enough to make him look better. I'm going to make a point about this in a minute, though. I'm still dealing with some of the negatives. Zeke not very good in those last. People say he did great. No, he had like one good game. And everything else was kind of like average or below average for him. So think about this, too. I got to be honest about this. In 2022, all right, there was 21% of the time he had a stacked box. He had 8 defenders in the box. 21% of the time. 1 out of every 5 plays. Last year, he only saw 8. Again, it's still a lot, but he only saw it 18% of the time, which actually not that much for someone like Zeke. He used to get a demand 30 or 33 or 35% of the time stacked stacked boxes. Extra 8 guys or more in the box.
That's not a testament to the fact that Zeke is not the same threat that he used to be.
Yep.
I think I'm just saying, that's concrete evidence there.
He's not
not at that same level.
They're not fearing him as much. They don't have to stack the box with Zeke anymore.
Yeah.
Now, it's also that's offensive line. That's also down in distance. A lot of things in that. But one of the biggest concerns people may have with Zeke right now moving forward is yards after contact per attempt. That's gone way down. Go to 2019, 3.2 yards, 3.23 yards after contact per attempt. 2020, the next year, it went down to 2.82. Now, this is offensive line or not, it's going down. It goes to 2.61 in 2021. A little bit up, 2.71 in 2022, and then last year with the Patriots, and the worst offensive line, 2.54. So he's not getting those yards like he used to. The extra, he's not getting those 4 or 5 yards now. He's getting them just 1 or 2 yards. And we saw that in the last years in Dallas.
Yeah.
It was just as bad in New England. Is my point.
It's similar to, I hate to use this comparison, but you guys remember the last year or two of Jason Witten where instead, like when pretty much every single time he caught the ball, like the yak was non-existent. He'd basically just fall like a tree exactly where he was. You could count on him to catch it, but you also couldn't count on him to go any further.
Exactly.
I also want to take a second here, super quick. Beetlejuice, I am so sorry to hear about your dog Cujo. That is horrible news. I hope he's running on a happy farm somewhere with a big juicy piece of chicken or steak or something. So, and give a little love to Beetlejuice in the chat. Yeah. So, kind of rolling back here. Dustin Roberts also pointing out, for one, the Patriots sucked. Who out of our running backs even made more money? Because whoever makes more is a starter.
Right, and right now, it's Zeke, but not by much. It's very close, and I'll explain that in a minute. I just wanted to say something else. When you see these yards after contact going down, that's not offensive line. That's him getting hit and then going down sooner every time. I mean, he's basically lost almost a full yard in 5 years after contact. So he's going down faster and easier. But this is truly, I think this is going to be a test into the belief system of, does a running back truly matter? Because I think the Cowboys are going to definitely test that this year. Offensive line is improving. We're going to have a good passing game, especially with Tyler Guyton as a pass protector, one of the best of this draft. So we're going to pass a lot. When we run, we'll see what happens. But if the whole thing of running backs don't matter is true, that'll be proven in this season by the Cowboys, one way or the other. We're going to find out. But
yeah, Stephen Jones heard that and said, "Hold my beer."
We're going to challenge that one. He said, "Look, I think we'll be fine enough. I think that, the O-line, if it materializes the way it's supposed to, with Zeke and Rico Dowdle getting more carries, maybe more carries eventually than Zeke, and whoever else makes the team at running back, however we utilize them in McCarthy's scheme. But I think maybe we'll definitely be better in short yardage than we were in 2023, like you said. And also I think the offense passing-wise will be good to support that situation where, you have that a little bit better balance between the passing, which we're going to do a lot of, and when we run, it's going to be a little bit scarier in short yardage. It's going to be a little bit better because of our offensive line. That's all. I think that's what this does. Now, I do want to add out there, guys, again, the year that Zeke, basically the hope is that when testing this running back situation is that Zeke and Rico can be at least average running backs. If Zeke and Rico can be average, the combination is okay, is good enough, is what I think the thought process is there. Calvin Richard with another $2 holler, and he jumps right there above SCO 971 on the overall board. What did the man say, baby?
I think he's being contacted a lot sooner, though.
Getting hit sooner, yeah. Well, it doesn't matter, though, if you get hit sooner or not. It's more about, well, I guess it does matter to an extent, but it's more about...
It is a multifaceted issue. That is why, I'm going to roll it back to what I said was going to be my biggest point here with the Zeke thing. Do you believe in what we're doing in the O-line? And again, it's not that it requires your belief or not, just saying that the Cowboys said, we are not, taking Steven at his word for once, the only true statement this entire offseason. We're going to do something different at running back. Like you said, they chose to prioritize other positions. They chose to, I don't want to I'm trying to find the right way of saying it, but basically they chose to do it in this way to kind of keep things simple. Yeah. And part of their mindset is the improvements at O-line mean that Zeke and Rico and everybody else, they're not going to get hit as soon as they have been, right? Like, we are creating that extra space for them, and hopefully that, it's a whole trickle down.
Well, I agree to the extent, like, if you have Zeke getting into the open field, like, not really getting touched until 2 or 3 yards down the field, when a linebacker's taking a bad angle or corner or safety taking a bad angle, there's a better chance he'll make the guy miss and get those extra contact after yards. But
let's say he's even at, I'm just saying, even if he only gets 2.5 yak, right? The point is that, if he's not getting, that's my point. Yeah. Like, even if you keep that number exactly the same, if you're giving him an extra yard or two, anybody an extra yard or two where they're not getting touched or they're getting clean lanes, that, I'm just saying, like, you just turned a very basic, regular-ass 2 to 3 yard run play into, just saying, like, a much more effective.
I hear you. That's if the running back, if that's running back by committee thing works and the offensive line meets its goal, which we're hoping it will. If it meets a goal, we should at least see a little bit better in the running game. But here's the thing I'm trying to say. The yards after I don't care if it's 20 yards down the field or 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Zeke is not breaking the tackles like he used to. That's just what I'm trying to say. It's not about when he gets hit here or there. It doesn't matter because it's wherever he gets hit, he can still break tackles. He would get hit in the backfield sometimes and gain 4 yards. Now he gets in the backfield and goes down. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say is the difference in Zeke. It's just natural. It happens when you get older. But let's stick with the facts and not a lot of people thinking like Zeke now is like, yay, we got Zeke. Like if the Eagles had got Zeke, we'd be talking about he's washed. You know what I mean? Like, let's be honest. Like if the Eagles got Zeke, we'd say, he's old already anyways. He's done. But we got him. A lot of people are like, oh, this is great. We get a starter Zeke. Man, please. That's the thing is that to me, Zeke is not a starter. We're going to have him as a starter, but he's not really a starter. So you got to make it by running back by committee to make this quote-unquote Zeke starting situation truly work. And the offensive line's got to really be up on things because, again, with 2 rookies, it don't mean anything that we got anything proven yet on that offensive line. Also, I want to reiterate that I don't think McCarthy's going to go running crazy again. He's not going to run a lot. He's going to throw more than run. That's why we got Tyler Guyton. For Dak, for protection of his blind side, that is more important than blocking for the run. That's what I'm hearing from the front office in the sense of by these picks. BB, ferocious run blocker. I mean, he's going to be great. That's what we need inside. Mm-hmm. And he's decent as a pass blocker. But, I mean, great. He had 2 sacks in 3 years. So, BB and Tyler Guyton in the NFL are going to have some hard knocks. But I think they'll be okay in the long run. I think Dak will be better because they'll have more time. I think that, and that's saying a lot after last year's MVP type season. I think more important than Dak being better, it's about the scheme being better and working better. When McCarthy now has a secure left tackle that will always be like should be a cornerstone of protection for Dak Prescott's blind side. So that would make the whole offense work smoother. The running game is not really the mindset's still like we'll run 15 times in a game. Zeke's gonna get 7 carries, maybe at most. I'm saying that's what we're getting. So. That's why I want to bring up the money situation. Because, again, I said Zeke and Rico, Rico's getting the minimum, the veteran minimum benefit deal. Yeah. And him and Zeke, if they're average, that's what the Cowboys are hoping. They're hoping for not below average. That's not a high mark, a high bar to cross. Yeah. I think both guys can be at least average. So if we could get 2 average running backs behind our offensive line and the passing scheme we're going to have with McCarthy, I think we'll be okay even with Zeke. Now, and I'm not a big fan of this move, I'm going to be honest, but... And you can vote and let us know what you think. But the year Zeke ran, basically, left Dallas after his production dropping for the money. Again, you got to remember, guys, he wasn't run out of Dallas because we hated him.
Yeah.
He was out of Dallas because he was $16 million fucking dollars. And it would have been fucking retarded to fucking do that shit. It would have been stupid as fuck to keep Zeke for that money when he's declining every single year. We knew this. Put your whole head in the sand if you want to, but we know Zeke was not what he was in the first 3-4 years of his career. That's a fact.
And I know some people also like to consider maybe Zeke's, dead cap money as part of his quote unquote contract. I can be real. Jerry certainly does not see it that way. He had already mentioned that last time.
And again, Patrick Walker kind of defined this for everybody on Twitter, but I already told you guys this weeks and weeks ago that Zeke's $6 million on the cap means nothing for Zeke. That means fuck shit for Zeke. This is money that was paid to Zeke in his rookie in that second contract. And when that contract, we have to roll money on the cap down, not money for Zeke. People think that, that's what we're paying these players right now. No, Zeke
gave it more like we bought Zeke's contract on a credit card, right?
It's kind of like
now we gotta pay. Now we gotta pay the card back. Zeke already got paid,
right?
But now it's time to make our credit card payment. Right?
You know, when Romo was getting that dead money and Dev's they weren't getting paid.
Yeah,
they already got paid.
That was just paying our bills,
right? That's still paying the bills, credit card style. So that's what the Cowboys are doing now. With Zeke's contract. So yes, in your mind you can say $6 million plus what he's getting now. $3 million. That's $9 million for Zeke, but he's getting $3 million at most.
Yeah, I can tell you right now, my job tried to hit me with some. But we already paid you 3 years ago.
I know
that's not gonna fly.
Listen, Zeke is getting paid what he's getting paid now in his pocket. He already got that other money. So here's the thing: on the cap, $6 million. It doesn't matter who you assign that to. It's to the running back room divided by the 5 or 6 running backs, and then you got the real hit on the running back room if you want to look at it that way. But here's the thing. I don't care about the $6 million. That's life. That's nothing. The fact that we saved that money from a couple years ago means we actually overall save money. Cowboys, though, they let that chance go. Front office lets it go. The capologists, like Stephen Jones and his buddy over there, that his frat buddy, they don't know what the fuck they're doing when it comes to the true capology that we need in that front office. But anyways, I'm trying to go back to the year when he left the Cowboys. You know what his numbers were that year? Because he was already losing his numbers. He got injured. Pollard took over.
Yeah, I know he was declining, but off the top of my head, no.
He ran for 876 yards with minimal usage he got injured for like 4 games, and then we didn't use him that much towards the end of the season as much. 876 yards and 12 touchdowns. Remember, those touchdowns were the goal line touchdowns. We put them in, they couldn't stop them. So if he does, let me ask you guys a question. Because with that production for $14, $12, $16 million, there's no way we're happy with that. Especially, the yardage. There's no way. The touchdowns are great, but we know those are 1-yarders. They weren't like he was breaking them from the midfield. So, let's say he gets that same production or similar. 800 yards, 9 touchdowns. Would you complain about that with a $3 million tag on him? With a $3 million mark on him? To me, $3 million, that's the kind of production I expect. 800 yards and 10 touchdowns from Zeke. If we use him on goal line, that kind of stuff. So that makes, if you get that similar production when he was in Dallas, I'm happy with this move. You guys feel me? Now, I don't want to waste carries on him to get him these numbers. I want to divvy up the carries better than we did when Zeke was getting paid 12, 13 million. Now he's getting paid 3, and he's getting more than everybody else, but not much more. And I'll explain this a little bit more. Let me explain this, guys. It's not $3 million. Yes, the contract says he'd get $3 million, but you know why it's not? It's $2 million of guaranteed money. And the last $1 million is all incentives. If he runs for this much yardage, if he runs for that much yardage, if he plays this many, snaps on offense, if he is active on the active roster, so every game he gets 20,000. I'm saying he has to build up that last $1 million by play time. So the Cowboys are saying he's a starter, but he's not get full-time play. He's not get that whole $1 million extra. So we're paying $2 million.
So Zeke the starter with a little asterisk still next to it.
Yeah, it's Zeke the starter with the asterisk, but it's the fact that we're going to obviously he's been told we're going to divvy these carries up. So it's going to be harder for you to get these numbers. The incentives got to be, I'm assuming, a little lower than they would have been if he was a full-time workhorse back. But the thing I'm trying to say is that Zeke is truly getting $2 million right now. Okay. And let me just say this here. When you look at the $2 million guaranteed, the other $1 million is incentive. So he has that. We don't know if he's going to get that or not. He's not going to get it all. And some of that is tied into winning the Super Bowl, by the way. Like $100,000 if we go all the way into the Super Bowl. But here's what I'm trying to make my point. The veteran minimum salary that we're paying Rico Dowdle and Royce Freeman and every other running back or less, if they're younger on their first year on their rookie deals like Deuce Vaughn and these guys, you know what? What the $2 million is only $800,000 more than the vet minimum. So think about that for a second, guys. The veteran minimum is like $1.2 million. That's what we got Royce Freeman. That's what we got Rico Dowdle for. And Zeke is only $800,000 more. And I know he's the starter, but that's not the bona fide starter. It's not like Zeke getting $12 million and everybody else getting $1 million. It's like he's getting $2 million and everyone's getting $1.2 million. You feel me? So it's going to be definitely a running back by committee, and plus he has incentives, winning, but also playing time. So we're going to get that as the days trickle on, and we're going to get that information trickling down. So, that's kind of like, I want to make sure we all see it on the same page when it comes to Zeke, this deal, and what it means. I think I did a good breakdown on this. When you look at the running backs who signed contracts this offseason that are older than Ezekiel Elliott, older than him, you have Zeke, was he 28 years old, 1 year, $3 million. Austin Eckler, 28 years old, 2-year deal, $8.34 million. So we're looking at over $4 million a year.
Okay.
You got Edwards, Gus Edwards, 29 years old, 2 years, $6.5 million. So a little over $3 million a year. Aaron Jones, 29 years old, he got a 1 year, $7 million deal with Green Bay. Derrick Henry at 30 years old, 2 years, $16 million. Who'd you rather have? Derrick Henry for $8 million a year for 2 years, or Zeke 1 year, $3 million? I mean, I don't know if you think I don't think Henry is worth the $8 million a year.
And that's what I was going to say. I would much rather the Cowboys do what they did, in the sense of they invested that time and effort and energy, and let's say money in this case, right? Like, pretending that was a choice on the O-line.
Yeah,
like,
true. They didn't care about running back.
7 days out of the week, I would rather invest that into the O-line because, again, yes, it ends up helping the run game, but the Cowboys are doing something different at running back now. They feel like they can, quote-unquote, get by with lesser talent at running back, with a lesser investment overall through the draft and through free agency and monetarily speaking. Remember, guys, the last handful of years...
But more on the offensive line through all those things you just said.
Exactly. So, because remember, the last handful of years, maybe we weren't investing like draft capital, but we spent $20 million on running backs last year.
Yeah.
Like,
that's way too much.
And the year before that was also like, we've been the number one spenders in the running back market basically for the last handful of years.
Dumb. And on top of that, think about it, like, we got $6 million on Zeke's dead cap. And then he's got $2 million. We got another million. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have this year probably have like $10 million. I'm saying with the $6 million dead money, it's probably like $12 million total on running backs this year. Yeah. Hey, the man, Mark Hosepian in the house with that 5 on it, all the way from Hawaii, repping that star over everything. What did the man Mark have to say?
Right before I read his comment, I was gonna say my final little thing here about the whole run game situation. Just, you know what? It's okay. Let me just read his comment instead.
All right.
Thank you so much, Mark. He said,
let's hear it.
Quantity or quality? Oh, yeah, I'm guessing you meant quantity or quality. How about you drafted 3 starters?
Quantity over quality. I think you wanted, I think that's what you, quantity over quality. Okay, go ahead. Let's hear it. How about
we drafted 3 starters, top of their areas, and then we traded down. We could have gotten Barton, BB, and Wright, defensive edge, linebacker. Defensive edge and linebacker are not starters. And so basically,
I hear him. I agree. The 2 linemen are starters, BB and Guyton. But
and he did mean over, by the way. You're right.
Okay, so I'm just trying to say those 2 guys, offensive linemen, those are solid picks. I agree. I think that the other guys are next year starters. They're this year rotation players, and I don't agree with. I want to get starters. So I understand what Mark is saying. At the same time, this is the way the Cowboys do it. It cannot be surprising. It can't be. And we all understand that's the way they do. So, we do have that poll, and I want to hear that poll in a minute about Ezekiel Elliott. Mark, make sure you vote. But I just wanted to finish saying this because you're seeing these contracts. Derrick Henry, 30 years old, 2 years, $16 million. And then Cordell Patterson, 33 years old, and he's getting a 2-year, $6 million deal, $3 million a year. So all these guys that are older than him are getting more than him. The same or more than him. Probably, again, Zeke is really getting $2 million that he's guaranteed to get. So after all these numbers came out, and again, we don't know the full extent of the incentives. When it does come out tomorrow or the next day, we'll go over that. It's going to be if we get to the playoffs, if you win a playoff game, if you get to the championship game, if you get to the Super Bowl, win it, you're going to get money to get equal like $100,000 or $250,000. And there's going to be other stuff on game time, active play. You're going to be active for the games. You're going to how much play time. And that's going to all, in the end, all that's going to equal $1 million to go from $2 million to $3 million at most. So what was said out there? Zeke ran it today. He posted after the news was made official. He passed his physical. He said out there, he said, quote, "Run it back." So the running back is going to run it back in Big D.
That's right.
Dak Prescott showed support for Zeke and said, quote, "Running it back." And put a picture of Zeke in there. So Zeke, Dak connecting again, drafted the same year, back again. So
the two best friends
the
are back at
besties
it.
there. Micah Parsons also retweeted Zeke's comment about running back and said, quote, "Welcome back, King," end quote. So the Cowboy team is happy to have, again, this is good for morale, I guess you could say, at least with the team and the camaraderie with the players, because they know him, they respect him, even if he's not the same he was, even a couple years ago. So, Zeke's signing, I just want you guys to understand, even though it's official, he signed it, it still has to be processed by the NFL. It wasn't turned in till this evening. So it's going to be officially processed tomorrow, and tomorrow you'll see Zeke signed to the Cowboys. It's happened already. It's just not processed by the NFL yet, but it has been signed, the contract. So another deal could also be on the horizon for the Cowboys. Now let's kind of move on from Zeke. Oh, I guess not move on, but I want to get his quote, the poll update. But
okay.
Start looking for that. But Zeke, his signing is going to lead to again. We're going to talk about another signing here in a minute. But wide receiver Tyron Billy Johnson. You guys remember him from last year? He made our practice squad, and he was released. He was a speedster, spent most of last year on the practice squad, visiting the Cowboys tomorrow, or today he visited the Cowboys, and he's going to they're saying that tomorrow he may sign once he completes his physical. So get ready for another signing tomorrow on offense, wide receiver Tyron Billy Johnson, who is practice squad, just so you guys know. All right, so I wanted to update you on that, but not done there yet, because there's another guy that we just signed, Damien Wilson, for the third time to the Dallas Cowboys. Before we get to him,
like I jokingly said earlier, the Ezekiel
Zeke
Elliott
of the linebacker. But before we get there, I want to know what the poll's looking like, baby. I want to know what you guys think. What's the pulse of the family here, the MCF family? What are they thinking about? Read the question. Read the number of people that
With
did it.
72 votes so far. We asked you guys, how do you like that the Cowboys signed Zeke and he's coming back to be our starting running back? 38% of you guys are saying it's okay. Better O-line helps Zeke. So, it's fine. Now that we've upgraded the O-line, it's not so bad. So 35% of you guys said, yes, I love it because Zeke still has
That's a lot of people. I'm surprised. All right.
So, and currently with an equal split at 14% each. You guys voted for that as well, saying, better options for free agency or no. I hate this move. So, you want to take those numbers? That means about 30% of you guys are not too happy.
Yeah.
Or unhappy at this move. And then, the other 2/3 of us are either in love with it or just, saying, okay, it's not bad, especially with the O-line.
I'm going to say the number one thing here is what? The better O-line helps Zeke. I understand how that, what's the consensus? That's the positive mindset. And I think that's even what I voted. But that's just, that's about 40% of us. Another 35% are saying that they love this deal. I think that's a little bit too happy of the fans.
I have to admit, I'm actually surprised, and I know you didn't know this, but earlier in the poll, it was actually at 40%. Wow. So it's actually gone down a little bit.
Right.
So, I did vote for, it's okay, better O-line helps Zeke. Just no surprises there if you guys have been listening to my points as far as the O-line. Again,
I was torn between that and the other comment about better options in free agency. That's what I was torn between. But
I don't necessarily disagree, but Tipsy Tiss, I think, and hopefully I said that right, brought up a great point. We have to work with what we've got, and I trust Zeke more than any of the guys that we have now, in my opinion.
That says the bad handling from the front office.
That's my point, though. The Cowboys were never going to bring in one of the
elite,
free
the better running
backs
backs
that we wanted. So if our choice was between, getting some undrafted guy, picking up literally nobody, or
picking up a guy who's not familiar with this team, but is the same as Zeke right now,
or
Zeke that's familiar with the team. Right.
Out of all the options we had in front of us, Zeke does end up being the best one.
Yeah, I'm not mad about this. I'm not mad about it. I'm just expected it, and it's not that much of a big deal to me. It improves the short yardage, the goal line, and he's still going to give you something, but the better offensive line may help. But in the end, still Zeke is just not getting those yards after contact. So to me, I'm more like in between that and like better options out there. So it's just a tough one. But either way, we got Zeke, and we can move on. We got Zeke. We got him. We're going to hope he does great, and we hope the offensive line helps him. The scheme helps him. The lack, the knowledge that he's not going to carry the ball all the time like he did in the past. Mm-hmm. And if he produces even a little bit like he did in his last year with us, which was his worst year, when the money situation, his pay, that would be a win for us with the money we're paying him now. So the money really makes a difference when it comes to his production. Marco Seppian, by the way, he dropped 5 on it earlier, another 5, and another 2 right now for you. So what were both these comments, baby, from the man Marco Seppian as he takes Cat 52 down to 74 points?
So first he said, how do you get better by losing guys and replacing them with guys who need time to learn while passing over starters?
And that
Tyler, the left tackle with the O-line, we could have drafted.
Tyler, let me see. Tyler with the left tackle.
Yeah, basically move. I'm guessing you would have preferred to move Tyler Smith to left tackle instead of getting Tyler Guyton as our next future left tackle. That's how I'm interpreting your comment. Please let me know if that's right, because I feel like that's the wave you're on, that we could have drafted it differently, gotten a better player, a more impactful player in a different way.
If that's what he's talking about, I'm going to say it like this. Tyler Smith at guard is much better than Tyler Smith at tackle. And I think he may be saying that TJ Bass and Brock Hoffman, they could have worked that guard spot at least. We had enough guys that can play guard to hold it over or draft the guard, moving Tyler Smith over. And that would have been Connor Beebe would have been the guard. That Connor Beebe was the first guard taken off the board? Connor Beebe. So we got the best guard anyway. So you can still move. That's why I said you can still move him to left guard for Beebe, and then you can move Tyler Smith to left tackle, which I'd prefer to keep him at guard, and then you could put Tyler Guyton at right tackle, and Terrence Steele can work some of the swing tackle stuff, I guess. But my thing is this: the reality is, center's going to be Beebe. Tyler Smith stays where he needs to stay, where he's elite at guard. And at tackle, we're going to have this rookie. He's going to have some growing pains, I'm sure. But in pass protection, I'm very comfortable and confident in him. So I would leave it that way. I think we're good enough. And look, we got great backups. Because Brock Hoffman is a backup. TJ Bass is a backup. Chuma Edoga is good enough. Well, let's go. Good enough. I'm just saying if he's healthy. So I think we are better off there. But I do agree. We are not better off. We're not getting better. We're definitely not better than we were at the end of the year. Like, as far as, I don't know about the way we played, but definitely not. We're definitely better than the way we played, I would say. But our team, and you look at it, was better built, I think, at this point, at the end of the year, let's say. Now, or at this point last year, we were better built. We had Brandon Cooks, Stephon Gilmore. So we had some guys, some real vets going forward, kind of all-in-ish. This year, we're definitely not, even after the draft, like I said, we were never going to get everything fixed through the draft. We knew this.
Yeah, Cat 52 also throwing out there, by the way, to his earlier comment about like maybe moving Tyler Smith to that left tackle spot, because he said, that he prefers Smith at guard to help with the center. That basically, and remember,
that's a good reason.
At least Tyler himself has said that he very much prefers and feels much better as far as his own talent and abilities at guard. I also think that we're having a bit of rose-colored glasses moment with Tyler Smith at left tackle. This is not to diminish anything at all that he did there. Just saying that because of our recent maybe left tackle struggles, him going in there and being able to hold his own in a way that other Tyron Smith replacements never really were able to, and made us think like, oh, okay, this guy is like freaking fantastic. But the difference between him at left tackle and him at guard is the difference between a good player and an elite player.
Well, I even say a great player. He was great at tackle, but he's elite at guard, and that's a major difference. I say good just because, to me, it's not that he wouldn't be great. It's just that the drop-off and the difference there. And, I got to go back to that Cat 52 comment. The lack of help in our interior, what that would do to our recently freaking drafted young guys and everything else. They need a little extra support and help. I'm actually really excited about the fact that we have, these guys coming onto the team with Zach Martin and Tyler Smith there to kind of help on all sides. You know what I mean?
You're helping your outside guys, but you're also being able to help with that interior support.
Yeah.
So,
no, I hear you.
Anyway.
And Kuribi can do all the guard spots as well.
Yes,
so that
final
helps.
comment here, the Marco Seppin's little $5 holler that he just dropped.
You missed the $2 holler too.
No, I read that one. The O-line this year won't be as good as it was 2 years back.
Okay, I missed that then. No, I just want to say, I kind of agree in that sense. Like, I know what he means by that. I just think that the issues we had on the O-line, when you look at our O-line grades during that year with Zeke, it was horrible. It was horrible. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to clarify that. So will it be better? In some ways they'll be better. In some ways they won't be better. Definitely experience they will not be better.
Now, Marco Seppin said that the way that the Clowns think is we needed a running back, and we got Zeke and also an undrafted free agent, so we addressed it. It's like saying I need to get laid, and we bang an Indian.
100%. I agree with that comment, and we understand.
You addressed it, but you should have maybe been more specific, Mark.
If they addressed this and moved if they had signed the guy a contract with CD or even restructured Dak and did no signings, we could have had a better running back for a little bit more. That would have, for $4 million, that would have been a double, triple better than Zeke, and only paying $1 million more. So that's where I think, again, upgrading the offensive line is great, and it does help the running backs. But you know what else helps? A little bit better running back. With the better offensive line, you're going to get a better overall run game. Mm-hmm. It just goes hand in hand. Offensive line is more important at this point. I agree. But if we have the offensive line, to get a better running back, and let's do it. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I look at that. Much love to Super D.
Woo.
In the place to be here.
For subscribing.
Yeah, part of the family now here in MCF. And Marco Seppin now in a tie in fourth place. But why, baby? Because Calvin Richard dropped the 5 on it.
Yes, he did.
So what he says, this is a neck and neck with Mark and Calvin there in the middle of the pack. What he says, Cat 52 is down to 63 points.
We have Damien Wilson back to help out at linebacker now. Don't cut him.
So here we go, guys. Let me explain, because Damien Wilson is back in Big D for the 3rd time. Appreciate that little it was a really good, smooth
perfectly
slide
timed super
into
chat
this.
there
Yes.
for the segue.
Damien, and we got Marco Seppin also with it here, with another 5 on it. I think actually he's got back-to-back 5s, if I'm not mistaken. So let's go through it with Mark first, and then I'll get into Damien Wilson, I promise. Thank you, Calvin Richard. I'm going to talk about Damien Wilson and where he can help us, and really what he really is going to be for this team. But go ahead, baby. Hit up the Marco Seppin back-to-back 5. Another one's going to come down, and then Cat 52 is going to be down to what is it? 53 points on the stream, boss, when the next one hits. But let's hear what Mark had to say with his back-to-backs, like our 90s Cowboys.
Imagine Tyler at left tackle. Jerry Jones bragged about position flex. BB's a guard. Barton's the best center. All pro. Right guard and fully recovered steal. Now that's an O-line. Add a running back like right, but instead we have a guard that has to learn center, a left tackle that needs time to develop, a defensive edge to share snaps with 3 guys, and a backup linebacker. There's a big difference, Clowns.
I agree with some of those, like the defensive backup stuff. I do think, though, when you look at the position flex for a second, and, BB was the best guard, without question. Pure guard. Barton was not the best pure center. I want to clarify that. JPJ was. But because of some of the medicals, people looked at Barton as, a guard or a center. So you can see that there. I don't think he was the best center, bar none. I think it was a close thing. I think JPJ was the best pure center. And I know now, fully recovered steal, right guard, Zach Martin, of course. And, forget about Tyler Smith. He's dominating it there. So I know what he's saying. Tyler at left tackle would have been better for him with both of those guys inside.
A bit of a little bit of levity here. Because Beast Mode said, off-season's been so bad, Zeke signing looks huge.
I know.
I think we would all laugh a little bit at that one.
Yeah, I think for me, it's like, I kind of not even a big deal for me. It's like, we have to talk about it today. We made 2 moves today.
Big free agent signing.
Yeah. We're re-signing 2 guys, former Cowboys. So, I also want to say, like, I do agree, though, with BB learning center, it seems like it's going to be hard, but it sounds like he's been working on that for 6 months. And all word is that he's going to be good. So, we'll see right away how good that's going to work or not with BB at center. But that's something I think is going to work. Every first round pick needs time to develop a little bit as well. I think Jalen Guyton is going to be an instant impact like starter, not a dominator, but he's going to be a good pass protector and a decent run blocker, and that's where it's going to start. That's what you get with a 29th pick in the draft, just the way it is. So Yeah, the backup linebacker. But if he's a starter next year, which I think he will be, you might think differently about that pick of Lufau. And, the edge rusher is the one that's just about the position over the, like the edge rusher over the running back. That's what the Cowboys are looking at, running back. So would you rather have a running back there that was not Trey Benson or someone, it would have been a lesser running back the Cowboys were reaching for? Or would you rather get an edge rusher that is going to be, I guess you could have had Benson there. So, I would have actually been happier with Benson. But honestly, running back in the second round also bothers me. So this Cowboys are going to be stuck between running back or edge rusher, and that's what they went with. I see the reason why they did that. I'm not going to shit on it yet, but I wish it was a starter instead of a rotational edge rusher. So I hear you. I feel you. I understand you. So let's kind of move it on to Damien Wilson, guys. We agreed to terms with linebacker Damien Wilson. He signed today on a 1-year deal on the veteran salary benefit, $1.2 million. So a person said close to this, again, the Cowboys are adding depth to linebacker with this Damien Wilson move. He spent the end of last year on the Cowboys practice squad, and I forgot about that, guys, because he was added late in the season last year, at the end of the year, before we went to the playoffs. Damien Wilson at linebacker was added to the practice squad to try to bolster some linebacker depth, the group, ahead of what was supposed to be a deeper playoff run. We got knocked out at home against the Packers. It was embarrassing. So once we were knocked out, he never even saw one game with us last year. Even though he signed at the very end of the year, he didn't even wear the star in a game. So, again, his contract ran out, and he became automatically a free agent. The Cowboys didn't revisit him until now. And, of course, you remember he played with the Cowboys way back when we had Damien Wilson playing back there at linebacker as almost as a starter for like 2 or 3 years in there, rotating in there. So this is his third stint with the Dallas Cowboys. Like I said, he was originally drafted out of the University of Minnesota by the Cowboys in 2015. And with a move like this with Damien Wilson and even Zeke, this tells me the Cowboys are clearly rebuilding here. So it's a bridge, what we got here. It's a bridge with guys like Zeke. It's a bridge with guys like Damien Wilson, just to add a little depth of guys that we knew in the past and can give us little cheap veteran deals. He's getting a $1.25 million deal, but he's going to get in his pocket like $1.5 million, and it's going to hit us only like $900,000 on the cap. That's why the Cowboys are doing it. This is a rebuild type year for the Cowboys. We got a little money, we got a little money to use. We got some free agents without compensation issues, and guess what? Cowboys signed Damien Wilson. So that's the guy we signed, and Zeke. So, anyways, Damien Wilson, real quick, guys. Actually, before I get into the details of what he's done for himself in his career, what did Marco Seppian have to say with that $2 holler?
We let go of a dominant speedster in right. Clowns.
Wait, who is this?
Marco Seppian?
No, I meant right. Who's right?
The running back?
I don't think so.
I think White,
oh.
right.
I'm trying.
In the draft. I still don't know who you're talking about, Mark. I'm not gonna lie. So
I have to know who he's. I don't know who he's. I'm trying to think why I'm not. It's not registering with me right now.
Jalen Wrights.
Oh, okay. That's the guy who was available at running back.
Yeah.
That we could have gotten at that spot. The Cowboys decided rather than go to Jalen Wright, go with
Zeke.
Not with Zeke.
Well, true.
Go with Lufau, a linebacker, because they knew he was not going to be around in the fifth round. So, and neither was Jalen Wright as well. So,
I mean, again, Mark,
it's
right
it's
or
running.
wrong?
Right, yeah, right. Or
right.
wrong.
No, I was just saying right or wrong. That was not intentional. I still am happy they went linebacker over running back there. I think stopping the run is a bigger priority than running the ball. I mean, it sucks because we're sitting here basically begging the Cowboys, please just do something at running back, right? Don't just leave it basically empty. But they aren't necessarily wrong for prioritizing other positions more than running back, especially when it came to the way that the draft fell. It would be stupid of the Cowboys to have made more of an effort to get a running back that was not going to have anywhere close to the impact that a guy like Lufau can have on our team. I mean,
overall, not this year, but I think overall.
So the only thing that I will give Mark credit for is getting it. No, just saying in the sense of like getting a running back at that spot would mean a starter in the sense of, like his
Right, a
big
starter instead of a
problem is,
rotational
getting,
player.
some of
Yes.
these other guys that are rotational players.
My bigger problem is not Lufau. My bigger problem is the edge rusher. That's my bigger issue. The second rounder and the end of the third round, second rounder was a bigger miss for now than Lufau. For the future, I think he's going to be right there with Kendricks and learning from him. I think he's a good pickup. Yeah. I think the edge rusher is a little bit more of the sadness. That's where I would have taken Trey Benson, and I would not have been as upset. But like I said, the edge rusher is what you have to remember. It's this position that's so valuable. The Cowboys prize it so much that they'd rather have 4 guys there than 1 guy at running back. One guy from the draft, a starter. So whether we agree or disagree, that's the way the team functions. That's their thought process. And remember, like you said, you keep bringing it up, they're going to do the running back thing differently this year. The analytics side of things, the front office side of things, this is different. This is the difference. I don't like it, but this is the difference. They did say it was going to be different, and here it is. Now, speaking of different, some of the same with Zeke, and some of the same with Damien Wilson. Now, let me tell you why, guys, because, again, remember, he played for us. Spent 4 years with the Cowboys before he signed in 2019 with the Chiefs. Spent 2 years with them, won a Super Bowl. And then before this last Cowboy stint at the end of last year, he spent 2021 with the Jacksonville Jaguars. He spent 2022 with the Carolina Panthers. He came to Dallas now looking to be a veteran presence in the middle of our defense in the locker room. Of course, anchored by another veteran, Eric Kendricks. With those 2 veteran linebackers in there, we also have third-year player Damone Clark. Intriguing second-year player, really his rookie year in a way, DeMarvion Overshown, and now newly drafted Marist Liufau. These 3 younger guys are going to get some balance from Eric Kendricks and now Damien Wilson in some way, I guess, as a veteran presence there. That's our 5 starting linebackers right now. Not starting, but those are our 5. That's our linebacker room. So, again, Damien Wilson tallied 419 tackles, 9 sacks, and 1 interception in his entire career. His best year came in 2021 with the Jacksonville Jaguars. He finished that year with the best year in 2021 with 106 total tackles. He had 3 sacks and 1 interception. He had 106 tackles, I think, in that game, and 3 sacks in that game. In that season. So, again, and an interception. So that was by far his best year, and that's pretty good. That was 3 years ago, though, and that was with him getting, a lot more play time. He's not going to get that much play time in this point of his career. So this signing just provides another veteran presence, another veteran piece in the middle of the Cowboys defense at linebacker. It's going to be, learning a new scheme under Mike Zimmer. So it's all about veteran presence when it comes to Damien Wilson. If you make the team, he'll be a little guide there for some of our younger linebackers, like Overshown, Lufau, and even Damone Clark. So, any thoughts on that, baby, from you about Damien Wilson?
Like I said it earlier, I'm going to say it again. It is the Ezekiel Elliott equivalent at linebacker. So, personally, neutral, right? He's cheap enough. He's there for some depth. I have to admit, I also was a little surprised to know that we had brought him back last year because I did not know that.
Because he didn't get to play at all.
We forgot that, so... I did want to hit up, Drums and Cowboys said, if you have 2 starters in a draft, you did great. I honestly believe we drafted 3 with a future Pro Bowler and BB. That's a successful draft. Running backs are easier to acquire even during the regular season. So, again...
I'm kind of with that. I agree.
That's why I said that. Every way we slice it, even though I still fully agree 100% that we could have maybe done a little bit more, just a little bit more, at... running back, and we would have seen a really big return on that smaller investment. Mm-hmm. I fully support the Cowboys basically pretending that the run game is just like a non-existent entity,
well, at least
on
the
the
running
team.
Back position.
The way that just because, they're doing something that we have been begging them to do for the last few years, and I do agree they're doing it a little more effectively as of now, right? We address the O-line issues. We address the fact that we can't stop the run. If you're telling me our choice...
I think we're going back into... we're gonna make. I think I was talking about Damien Wilson. And your thoughts on him was my point, baby. I'm sorry.
I already shared my thoughts on him. I literally...
Okay,
I know you don't listen to me,
maybe.
But I hit up a whole comment here.
I do listen to you. I didn't want to get off of the Damien Wilson mindset. Thinking we're talking about running backs and offensive line again, and we're talking about linebackers, so I want to stick with that. And if not from you, and again, if you already talked about Damien Wilson,
then go ahead and hit up the chat.
No, I'm saying if you already talked about Damien Wilson, then I thought that you touched more on. He was just like your Zeke of the defense. I get it, but anything more to add to that was my question to you. And then I wanted to know from the chat what's going on. So that's all. I mean, so Damien Wilson, if there's nothing on in the chat, then we'll just move on to the next thing here. But yeah, the linebacker is a backup, said Mark Hovsepian. I think he means the rookie running Lufau. Beast Mode said the linebacking core looks stronger on paper. He still wants to add a safety, a running back post June 1st. Chalk Dust says the edge rusher set the edge versus the run. Smash Mouth, a little high, but A- pick. Definitely, again, like I said, it's more about the position and the premium pick in that. He was already fell farther than anyone thought he would, and he was still a vital, he plays a very vital position, and he's still very good at that. So I think that's why the Cowboys took it. I agree with Montana on that there. So, yeah, I think we're pretty much good on the Damien Wilson discussion. But let's talk about free agency and how we can maybe do something more. Because I think the Cowboys are going to go a little more into free agency now with a different mindset, with spending a little money during this time frame.
Remember, it's only been basically 24 hours that we can sign guys without
losing comp picks.
Comp picks.
But also, it's also, I think, something else too. The Cowboys also know that the prices are dropping. There's a lot of guys they may have eyeballed as depth and pieces they want to add to this team, like Damien Wilson as an example, Zeke as well, of course. But when you look at really what we can do, I think the best move, do not count on the front office doing this, but the best things we can do right now to finish up this free agency, and I will say this, post-draft moves. Here's a couple ideas. Let me know what you guys think. Stephon Gilmore at cornerback. We draft Carson. All right, Kalen Carson, but he's not a starter. He's trying to knock off Nashawn Wright. So if you get in there, Stephon Gilmore, then you got yourself a set of 4 cornerbacks that you will never know when you'll need them all. If an injury happens, you know what I'm saying? So Gilmore is major. Trayvon Diggs returning from his season-ending ACL. If that's a little concern, you definitely bring in Stephon Gilmore, which right now is not signed by anybody. Adding him into the mix with Diggs, Deron Bland, Jordan Lewis, and then Kalen Carson in there kind of knocking out Nashawn Wright, gives the Cowboys a good set of 4 to 5 versatile cornerbacks to kind of make the secondary definitely an upgrade. All you got to do is bring in Stephon Gilmore. You might have to pay $7 million, $6 million, something like that. But that's a big upgrade. That someone's right there. Now, baby, there's other guys, too, you can get. And I'll throw out some names. You guys let me know what you think, and you too. Stephon Gilmore, cornerback. Xavier Howard, cornerback. Steven Nelson. Adoree Jackson. J.C. Jackson. There's Eli Apple out there. There's Patrick Peterson, old. There's some defensive backs that can do like safety corner stuff like May, Adams, Quante Diggs. But to me, I think Gilmore is the one that fits the best. If you're looking at Zeke, and you look at these guys returning, and Damien Wilson, I think Gilmore would be a perfect return if he drops his price some. He will be back. I think he could be back with the Cowboys over every single name I mentioned here. If the Cowboys want to go for like a cheaper guy that you don't know the name too much, but he'd be nice to this rotation, it'd be Steven Nelson. Adoree Jackson got the speed. He's good too, but I think the Cowboys won't go for him. But Steven Jackson, they may go for. So Steven Jackson, another option in this list here. I think Stephon Gilmore is the guy you want to target. So to me, free agent-wise, that's one free agent I think could help. Any thoughts from you on that, maybe?
I mean, Gilmore to me does make the most sense. He's already a guy we wanted to see back even before we had talked about this now. He was one of the guys that we were kind of hoping to see back at a reasonable price. And even more so now that it seems like things between him and Carolina didn't quite work out. Since wasn't Carolina the team that was like this close to signing him and then, again, just didn't end up working out. So
yeah, and no one's paying the high price he's asking for.
Yeah, so, if he has to come back to Dallas, tail tucked between his legs, to me, it's also that kind of continuity factor. I know we've moved on from Dan Quinn. Mm-hmm. I know that we've obviously already made changes to the defense, but overall, this defensive unit is still about 80%
complete.
Complete. And not just that, but how nice would it be, like you said, to have that kind of corner depth that you don't have to sit there and kind of hold their hand. I think it does give
or hold
Zimmer,
your breath if someone gets hurt.
Yeah, it gives Zimmer the chance to, similar to how Quinn used that to focus more on like the positions that he wanted to focus on. It lets Zimmer focus on, those specific guys that maybe he does want to spend a little more extra time on. Or
remember, he is a guy that's a defensive back specialist. I think he's defensive back specialist. So he, a linebacker, defensive back, he will be kind of running the show there a lot when it comes to the backfield and the way he runs his schemes and coverage. That's a Zimmer trait. So, yeah, he's going to get a hands-on there.
Yeah, Beast Mode said, Gilmore's a no-brainer, or Patrick Peterson.
Peterson's too old, in my opinion, but okay.
Tokyo said, good God, not Eli Apple.
No Eli Apple. Hell, I agree, dude. I do not want to see Eli Apple on this team.
Chalked on Montana away said, Gilly or Xavier, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because of the cover one man shell disguise zone with
Correct.
match contain that Zimmer runs.
Correct.
It shouldn't matter if they sign either, and a defensive tackle is key.
Correct. Hey, I'm not done yet. But yes, 100%.
So is there a Gilmore-esque guy that's like even cheaper or something? We'll probably end up going with him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think a Steven Nelson is a guy that's going to be a little less than Stephon Gilmore and is going to give you the ability to play.
Similar level of production?
Yeah, the only difference is Gilmore being with us, knowing our players, he's going to just... It's gonna flow better if you get Gilmore. Is it worth the $1 million difference? Probably. So I still go with Gilmore. But yeah, there's a couple guys you can still get that can tuck in there. Xavier Howard's probably gonna be expensive, like Gilmore right now. But I think Gilmore, is an option for the Cowboys, and I think he's our best option at cornerback. But now, we got to get that defensive tackle, and we got some young guys. Mozzie's gonna start at nose tackle supposedly. We got. The rookie we just got there, the 8th round, what's his name? The 8th round pick, but the 7th round pick, Justin Rogers from Auburn. He's the backup to Mozzie at that nose tackle spot. So, we got Osa on the other side. And, we don't really have we don't really have a lot of defensive nose tackles that we can rely on at all. So that's why I bring up the next guy here, Montana. This is the guy I'm talking about that I think we need to get. And we need to get a nose tackle. There's not many. There's a couple out there, but the impactful ones that make a difference, at least defensive tackle in that area. I know he's not always a nose tackle. He's kind of a 3-tech. Calais Campbell. Calais Campbell, 37 years old. No longer the player he once was. We know this.
Yeah.
But still has high enough in the gas tank, let me put it that way, to help the Cowboys on our defensive front line, stopping the run. The Cowboys are painfully thin along the interior of the defensive line, and Calais Campbell's addition would be a huge boost. Plus another veteran that can, for a young room, man, that'd be like God walking in for these guys. And Calais Campbell walks in there. So with our defensive line, a youth, and Calais Campbell's addition, it would be a big upgrade. I think he's a great, and I still say this, even in his 37 years old, he's a great run defender. Still a great run defender. In Atlanta, he held it down last year. All right? And, of course, to be an excellent mentor and veteran presence in the locker room. So I am all in on Calais Campbell. Will he come here? Probably not. But maybe there's one more connection to Calais Campbell we might have missed. There is a direct line from Zimmer. Well, not Calais Campbell. Calais Campbell is a guy that, may not have the connection with Zimmer. But there's another guy. I'm going to move it over from Calais Campbell as an option to another guy I think can be a more realistic option. I love Calais Campbell, but a realistic option, Linval Joseph. I wanted him back a couple years ago when he was with the Vikings. He's a good interior defensive player. So in a realistic way, look for him as a name. He's still a free agent. You know why? Because Mike Zimmer and Linval Joseph have a connection, obviously. Look at their relationship. They always had a good relationship, similar to what Eric Kendricks had with Zimmer.
Okay.
So Linval Joseph, a guy to keep in mind. You think about Calais Campbell, that's we're thinking too highly of our front office. I think they're going to go after him. But Linval Joseph is a guy that can definitely fit on this defensive line and add some veteran presence, a solid run stopper. So I'm talking about Calais Campbell. Let me give you some more names. Linval Joseph, of course, the connection with Zimmer. Al Woods, former Seahawk. I think he's a guy that could come in here and just an old veteran guy in there. James Lynch, another guy. But let me give you some ages here. Calais Campbell is 37. Al Woods is 37. Linval Joseph is 35. My pick would be Calais Campbell and then Linval Joseph. But here's the thing. It doesn't really matter, guys, because we just want them for 1 year. We don't care how old they are. 1 year deal for Calais Campbell or Linval Joseph, and that's a win for the Cowboys. Now, there's other current defensive tackle free agents right now of note. I do like a guy named Lawrence Guy. I think he's a former Patriot. He's a guy I think could plug and play, kind of a Hankins pickup.
Okay.
Like a Lawrence Guy. You got Rakeem Nunez Roches. And like I said, the one who's still at the top of my list, this is from multiple different sites and sources. Linval Joseph. So after all I've said, I think Linval Joseph is the real, Stephon Gilmore, for the reasons he was in Dallas last year. And Linval Joseph at nose tackle, defensive tackle, because he played under Zimmer multiple years. So also keep in mind of this, baby. Roster cuts. Like, there's going to be roster cuts here and there. As roster cuts go down, you're going to see defensive tackles out there, and there's going to be some good ones out there. So you could also wait for that. But right now, that's the playing field at defensive tackle. So we talked about cornerback. We talked about defensive tackle. And these are free agent moves. But I got one more for you guys. Because it's not just free. What about a trade? Let me say this. I kind of been simmering with this for a little bit.
Zimmer. Sorry, it sounded like zimmering. It made me laugh.
This is offense now at running back. Yes, even with Zeke, he ain't the future. The Cowboys should trade, in my opinion, a late round day 3 pick, especially we got a bunch of comp picks coming in. Mm-hmm. We got like 2 5th-rounders, a 6th and a 7th coming in next year for sure. Or 3 5th and a 6th, I think. I don't know. We got a lot of 5th-rounders. Let's get some of those and bring in. There's 2 running backs on my list. All right, let me give you the first one, which is I'm a little lower on, but Javonte Williams from the Denver Broncos.
Okay.
All right. The Broncos running back room is filled with a lot of good talent. He's kind of getting pushed off the board there. They already have Javonte Williams as their number 1. They have Jaleel McLaughlin atop the depth chart prior to this draft. And then they drafted one of the guys the Cowboys liked, Audric Estime, in the 5th round. And then they got Blake Watson as an undrafted free agent. So this now makes Javonte Williams expendable. He's entering the final year of his rookie contract. And the best thing you can do if you're the Broncos is trade him away. You're not going to sign him next year?
Yeah.
You trade him away for a late round draft pick and let the other team play off his rookie contract. The Cowboys are basically getting a 1-year rental on a rookie contract. That would be what I would do if I'm the Cowboys. Check on this guy's availability. See if they're willing to trade him. The Cowboys can easily part with a 5th round, with a pick in 2025, and we're talking about in the day 3, 5th, 6th, 7th round pick to get a guy who is 5'10", 220-pound running back, who's exactly what we need at that position. He's also a true 3-down back. And he has the power to pick up the tough yards, has the agility and the contact balance to also pick up chunk yardage down after down and some yak as well. Not yards after contact, not yards after catch. So, again, even if he ends up being a 1-year rental, he is well worth a 6th-round pick or a 7th-round pick or one of our 3 5th-round comp picks if we can get him away from the Broncos. The front office, will they do this? You can also look at other guys. I'll throw it out there because of this, guys. There's still like guys you can trade for. Again, Miles Sanders, not sure about him, but how about Israel Abikanda from the Jets? Abikanda to me I thought he was going to be cut last year because they had so much talent in the running back room. They have that talent once again, and they might have to go on other guys. They drafted 2 running backs like back to back in this draft, so they could move on from Israel Abikanda, and if they do move from Izzy, right? He can be had for a 5th or 6th round draft pick. So the Cowboys would be wise to check into Abikanda, Javonte Williams, but the guy I actually like the most, where's my Houston Texan fans? Where's Eastside? Yeah. Running back from the Houston Texans, Damien Pierce. To me, he would be the best running back if you could pry him away from the Texans. Remember, he's a 4th round pick in 2022. Damien Pierce burst on the scene as a rookie. He had 1,104 yards in 2022. Scrimmage yards. He had 930 yards rushing yards that year. He had 5 total touchdowns. He had an 84.8 rushing grade, which ranked 6th among all running backs in the NFL, according to PFF. He also finished 6th in yards after contact per carry, which we're obviously missing from Zeke and the rest of the crew here. He also was 4th in missed tackles forced, and was 12th in explosive runs. My point is, Damien Pierce has some juice to him. He's young. For reasons unknown, Damien Pierce lost the starting job to Devin Singletary in the middle of last year under the new offensive coordinator, Bobby Slowick. And after that, he just started 7 games last year. He only had 2.9 yards per carry in the Texans' new-look offense. He was kind of written out of it after 1 year, which could be a good thing for us because he's still got 2 more years left in that contract. And his stock went down after 2023. He had an up and down kind of, it was just kind of, they phased him out of the offense. So they got Singletary. They're happy with the way they're running things with this new offensive scheme. And again, he's just 1 year removed from basically taking the league by storm with a great rookie season. Now, he doesn't see, the probability is, he's only got 2 years left in his deal. Mm-hmm. The probability is he's not going to stay in Houston after his rookie contract is up. So a move to Dallas would help him. It wouldn't have to make him have to uproot his family necessarily. Stay close enough. But my thing is this, when it comes to the Cowboys, trading for one of these guys, Javonte Williams, Abakanda, or Damian Pierce, these are guys the Cowboys should have on their radar to try to trade. So when I say moves, I don't just mean free agent moves. I mean Stephon Gilmore and a bunch of other cornerbacks you could choose from. I'm talking about Calais Campbell and maybe, Linville Joseph as a nose tackle, 3-tech, inside defensive tackle. We need some more veteran leadership there. And then a trade for a running back, because you get a running back for the cheap with a late round next year, 2025 draft pick. Again, we're going to have 4 fifth-rounders, 2 sixth-rounders, and I think we gave away our 7th-rounder. So it doesn't matter. 1 7th-rounder, I think, or maybe no 7th-rounders. My point is, who gives a fuck about a 7th-rounder? We got ourselves about 6 picks in the 5th and 6th round. We get one of those up to get a fucking running back that can be on this team for 5-6 years. These are all young guys on cheap contracts that have a year or two left on that rookie contract that are getting pushed out from their current team with too many running backs there. So this is a chance. I say Damian Pierce, the best chance. Javonte Williams, a nice pickup from him. Israel Abakanda, also from the Jets. All situations we can get a steal using a 6th-rounder or a 5th-rounder even for one of these guys. We'd probably get a 7th-rounder back if we give a 5th-rounder up. I'm down. I'm down with that. And getting one of these running backs for a year or 2 on their rookie deals. I'm done. I can't do any better than this for you guys. I think I've hit the jackpot here on 3 important moves we should do. What do you think, baby, about these moves? What's your thoughts on these 3 moves that I would kind of think about? Whether it's, I think you talked about Gilmore, and you talked about Calais. What about the trade for the running back situation? Any of those 3 guys in a situation where they were getting pushed out of their team, and they don't want to just let them go for like a 5th-round comp pick or 6th-round comp pick.
I think it makes sense, but I'm gonna sound like a broken record here. I'm so sorry.
We're not gonna do it because it's the front office.
Well, actually, yes, but sort of. It's more we're not gonna do it because again, Steven said we're doing something different at running back. I think
that would be different. No,
it would be, look. It would be within the realm of like the Cowboys' possibilities, and it is still absolutely fall into the you aren't overspending for this position from a money perspective. It feels like doing that would be more of an investment that the Cowboys want to make. Like even to make the move. Does that make sense?
I hear you.
Even trying to trade,
it'd be a shame.
Something like that
if we were
is more than what the Cowboys seem willing to do.
And that's a shame.
We've been talking to Zeke for weeks now, like Zeke and his agent. We sat down how many times? Jerry and Steven sat down how many times with him or whatever. Like clearly,
and it still took a lot for him to get
the Cowboys had 2 mindsets as far as how they were going to handle the run game, and it doesn't sound like any of them were trying and maximize the limited talent while still keeping it cheap. Like, no. They literally said, we got $5.
And we're going to use 1. And the thing is that, look, the way I see this is if the Cowboys get some, let's think about it like this. I hope that Jerry Jones would. But if you get someone like Damian Pierce, if you have him on your radar, if you have Javonte Williams and you have him on your radar, these are starting quality running backs with a year or 2 or 3 of experience. I mean, a fifth rounder, and you get back. Let's say you get back a 7th and a running back. There's no running back you're going to draft in the 5th round. It's going to be as good as any of these guys. He used that equation for quarterback when it comes to Trey Lance. Oh, we got our 4th round quarterback. Well, why don't we get a 5th round running back that is already a starter in the NFL that we don't have to worry about or wonder about or work into? That's worth it. We're going to have 3 comp picks and a 4th regular pick in the 5th round. What are we talking about here? We're going to draft everybody. So take one of those 5th rounders and make it into a pick that you can go and pay in the future. Like Damien Pierce, 2 more years on a rookie contract, and by the end of his of his fourth year, in 2 years, you can then get him a bigger contract. And hey, it'd be worth it for a fifth rounder. It'd be worth it to imagine you get a bigger contract out of him. He gets paid $6-7 million. You got a running back that's healthy and young, or where the Cowboys just want to, like you said, just play this little game like this and just keep getting maybe a new running back every 4 years in the draft. Like they skipped this year, but let's say next year, draft a running back, fourth rounder, third round, fourth round running back. And then in 4 or 5 years, draft another fourth round, fifth round, third round running back. I don't know. But right now, that would be what I would do if you want to try to win this year. You want to get a true starter? That's what I would do. Zeke would be a good power guy. He's not a good starter.
But Drums and Cowboys said, Jerry said that he's seen teams go to a Super Bowl by acquiring a running back mid-season. And the comments, he said, I'm surprised how some of these named free agents are traded for a cup of coffee. A fifth rounder can acquire us a decent running back like Pierce.
Thank you. Pierce, Javonte Williams from the Broncos. We probably give up a sixth rounder for Izzy Abakanda from the Jets. I'm not saying he's even a starter for the future. He'd just be a good additional piece. But you want a guy that can be a starter for a couple more years? Javonte Williams on his last year, this year. You got Damien Pierce in his third year of his 4-year contract this year. That's what I would go. That's why a fifth for Damien Pierce would be good for Houston. It'd be good for us. And we can then still ride him for 2 years, move on, and then draft another running back anyways. Now, that's just me. Maybe I'm crazy. We're going to use all 4 of these fucking fifth rounders next year. We're not going to get a running back probably as good as what I just mentioned in that fifth or sixth round. So anyways, any other quick comments as we roll out of here with the draft? A couple draft comments real quick, and then we're done.
Mike Aldana said, he said Harrell won't miss Damien Pierce. We'll gladly take him off his hands.
Exactly.
Hypothetically.
Exactly. That's not a problem for me. I'm down to get Damien Pierce. I'll give him credit. He killed us when he played him. We couldn't stop him. So Damien Pierce, he didn't do bad. He was just phased out of the offense. Grab that guy, give him a fifth. Give them a fifth, and let's get back Damien Pierce in a seventh. Let's do it. I'm in. Let's go, baby. So if you want to win for now and the future, that's a move. That's a move you can look at. And then if you don't like him in 2 years, you draft another running back. Does it cost you a fucking fifth rounder or sixth round? You call your fifth rounder for 2 years. I'm cool with that. On a rookie deal, let's go. Now, any other quick comments on this before we get to the finale here of the show, which is just a quick thing here on a couple.
Start doing the shout-outs here in just a moment. Yeah. But first, guys, don't forget. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead because you wanted to announce the champions here.
I was going to tell people to hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell. So
well, there you go. You just did it. Finishing up, guys, on the last segment here, which is very quick. The rookie situation, the new guys we drafted on this team, and some numbers are already getting released from the rookie crew here, guys. And let me see. Okay, there it is. You can see what we're talking about. Those numbers are going to be switched around now. We know number 60 is going to be Tyler Guyton. That's set in stone. And we don't know the second-round pick yet there, Marshawn Nealon, but we know Cooper Beebe's number, at least for now. It's not 50 like he was in college. He's wearing number 56. So, guys, if you're not sure, and when I get the whole list, you'll see the whole screen. I'll have the numbers, and we can memorize it. But right now, Cooper Beebe is number 56. All right? Then we got Maris Lufau, who does not have a number assigned yet. Kalen Carson in the fifth round, cornerback, does have a number. He's number 41. So keep that in mind. Of course, these are going to probably change as they make the 53-man roster. But, yeah, Kalen Carson, number 41. And then you got the sixth rounder, wide receiver Ryan Flournoy. He's number 19, the old Amari Cooper number. The old, wasn't that Brandon Aubrey's number there? Number 19?
For a little while, I think.
So, anyways, the point is...
or was it 17?
Maybe 17. Flournoy, he's going to be number 19 at receiver there, the sixth rounder. No jersey yet for Nathan Thomas or Justin Rogers, but I'm positive it's coming soon. By the way, speaking of jerseys, Sam Williams, number 54, he said today on Twitter, quote, "I want number 0 so bad." So Sam Williams wants number 0. That'll be the first time given away by the Cowboy team. I do not want him getting number 0. I'd rather I went to Overshown.
Agree.
Because I don't think Sam Williams has proven yet that he's number 0 yet. I don't think he can prove. He has to show us a great season before he gets a number 0 that's going to stick with him for not just the next 2 years, but hopefully farther into his career with the Cowboys. So Sam Williams wants number 0 so bad. Sam Williams ain't getting number 0 yet. We'll see what happens. Maybe he will. We'll see what happens in the coming days. But there's a little, jersey kind of update if you were wondering on that. And then if you look at the draft, if there's comments, please let me know on that. And when it comes to on the jersey stuff. So now the last part of this is the draft, and that is the Dane Brugler rankings on this draft. I'm not gonna go through all these grades because that's a waste of time. Who cares what really the grades are? We gave our grades yesterday. I think we gave it an AB basically as a whole 200 people plus an AB draft. I think BC was second, so we definitely got basically between an A to a C draft, in my opinion, easily. Dane Brugler put us as the 10th best 2024 draft class, his breakdown. He said that he was surprised, though, the Cowboys did not draft a running back, but overall he does like this class of rookies. He also said his favorite pick is probably our least favorite pick, the second-round pick, Marshawn Kneeland, is Dane Brugler's favorite pick. Why? He says that he thinks he is going to be the definite replacement for next year for DeMarcus Lawrence, and he sees a lot of potential in him, like bona fide potential. He's a top 5 pass rusher in this draft. Edge rusher, edge setter, whatever you want to call it, but defensive end. He's a top 5 guy. That's what Brugler said. And also he said that the pick that could surprise people for the Cowboys, we said his number is 41, Kalen Carson at cornerback. He said, watch out for him. Versatility, inside, outside. It's going to surprise people, the usage. So maybe that's why we're not getting Gilmore. I just wouldn't put that in the rookie's hands as our 4th guy. Even if he does jump Nashawn Wright, I don't say much. So I want to, beat out Gilmore. That's different.
Surprising that they would go for an untested, unproven guy over someone like Gilmore in this situation.
Yeah. But again, he said he loves the Marshawn Kneeland pick, and that the pick that's going to surprise people for the Cowboys is Kalen Carson. So Dane Brugler knows his shit. That's his thoughts. No one's 100% right. So obviously he could be 100% right on this, on these two guys, but he could also be 100% wrong or split it. Who knows? Now, going down this list, the Cowboys seem to be getting a very high character player in linebacker Marist Liufau. All right, Notre Dame head coach Marcus Freeman speaks very highly of Liufau, said that his future is great on and off the field the way he is. He said, quote, he's a committed person in the game of life and in the game of football. So that's a good plus there. A guy that's well put together on and off the field when it comes to Liufau. Now, going down the list here to the 7th round, Nate Thomas. Nathan Thomas said that this is something we didn't know. Nathan Thomas said that he had a 30 visit with the Cowboys. He was not on the list. So that was kind of a surprise to hear that today. Another 30 visit that was not reported before this draft was Marshawn Kneeland. That's why he came out of left field. But he was another guy the Cowboys brought in on a 30 visit. So 2 guys that was not announced, 30 visits. Guess what? The Cowboys drafted. That did come in for 30 visits. So that means they really wanted to tuck and hide the guys they really wanted and really were interested in. They let the other names go out there, flow out there. But the guys that they had the 30 visits with that they really keened in on, yeah, you're seeing that right there from Nathan Thomas, an offensive lineman, and then, the Marshawn Kneeland pick there. So, again, we really have a confirmation, I think, of 29 out of the top 30 visit. 29 out of the 30 visit guys. So let me put it that way. Now, undrafted players, we talked about them yesterday, but one last little note I wanted to say. The tight end from Minnesota, guys. The guy who we know, what's his name? Brevin, I forgot his name. Brevin hyphenation, name there. But he's the tight end that's undrafted, getting paid big money for being an undrafted rookie. Outside of him, is this undrafted group kind of underwhelming compared to years past? And most people say, yes, it's kind of a little underwhelming compared to other seasons for the Cowboys. But what's the reasoning for this? There is a reason for this. Because the undrafted free agent pool had much less talent than it has had in the last couple of years because of the lack of juniors who declared with NIL in college. So because of that little move, it actually, you're going to have less guys that are deeper at the end of these drafts. Next year, it will rebound to a bigger pool of guys to choose from. And, you'll see, I think not just, last year I think we had like 17 guys. Like we only have 12 this year. And it's really one standout guy in this group that, will probably make this team on the undrafted. So the viewpoint is that next year it will rebound after the juniors that took these NILs in college and getting the money, their deals through there. That's what kept some of these guys, some of the pool empty this year when it comes to the undrafted group there. So there weren't as many names or as many choices to choose from of the undrafted group. That's all. It's pretty simple there. I still like our undrafted core. We have 2 or 3 guys that could make this team. Definitely a couple more that can make the practice squad. But out of the ones that make the team, I think the tight end, it definitely makes the 53 as of the word I'm hearing. And, being our 4th tight end or so in that mix. So, hey, we're improving our team depth-wise and starting-wise. In the end, that's what matters. You want to get better. We're still not where we were last year at this time, but it looks like the future may look a little brighter after this draft and these undrafted players. So that's a wrap from me, baby. Any quick comments on these draft thoughts, or anybody from the chat on these draft thoughts?
Well, Cat52 said, someone call Will McClay. So, Thomas Garrett said, I don't mind Pierce's trade for Pierce for a draft pick and then one of our running backs.
I'm fine with that, too. Hell yeah. I'm down with that. I'm down. Give up Deuce or give up, Royce Freeman. I don't know. The loser of the Zeke-Royce battle.
Yeah, I know, but giving him up is one thing. Does the team actually want him is the other.
True. That's true, too.
So, Esmodius, much love. We also have Robert Longoria in the house.
Hey, the famous actor.
Mike Aldana, hello and hi. Drums and Cowboys, of course. Beast Mode, much love to you. Asmodius representing. Let me see. Lissay Williams. Choctaw Montana to wait. Have a great night. William Burney, much love. Thomas Garrett, the superior.
Hell yeah.
Garrett. Mike Aldana, take it easy. We have Jesus Saves. Drums and Cowboys. Tokyo. See, Uncle Charles in the house.
Uncle Charles, y'all.
Kevin Bilbo, much love. William Burney. Trying to keep going back here. I know I saw Scorpio representing, much love. Let's see, that's actually as far back as I can go. Yeah, so Scorpio, thanks for rocking with us. MCF After Dark. We have Darren, the CEO, Davis, take it easy. Yeah. So all of you guys, again, you can't say enough.
Choctaw Montana.
How much we appreciate you all. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedules to come and chill here, hang with us, talk some Dallas Cowboys real football.
A lot of moves going on for today. Gallup gone and 2 guys here and another guy on the horizon at receiver, and talk about these rookies changing numbers. And hey, I'm not hyping it, overhyping it. We're just excited that it's going, right? It's going forward. Even if it's not fully fixed going forward. Let's go Cowboys no matter what. Over everything, never ever forget. And no matter what, that's what we do here on this channel, baby. Let them know why we do this each and every... Well, before we do that, let me shout out those repping the board. The new sponsor of the week. First time ever. The man, SCO971. Mostly from the After Dark session. But appreciate him repping that sponsor of the week again for the first time ever. He'd been close, but always came up short with McLovin always in his way. And he also got the Cash App crown. SCO971, appreciate you. Now he's in 6th place on the overall board because he's back. McLovin's back in 1st place on the Cash App. 1st place on the overall board. Trying to get that crown back. So appreciate all you guys on that side of things. And Cab52, much love to you as he's got 46 points on the stream, boss. Repping it there, as well as Jason Renfro with a 3-peat, 3 weeks in a row. Basically the whole month. Dominating that membership gifting board. He's the champion, the king of the membership gifting side. 3 weeks in a row, but there's nobody in the lead this week. We'll see how that goes, as we go on and see, every day, and we build towards the Sunday finale. On that note, guys, thank you for rocking it with us, dropping the knowledge with us here, and I appreciate you guys like the show. A lot of stuff going on. We try to give you the real deal here, and I think we did that. So thank you for chilling with us. You can be anywhere you want, but baby, since you're here with me, let them know why we do this each and every night on My Cowboys Family.
Of course. It's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything.
Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly. You see it right there. We got MCF on my shirt, but it's that star over everything here. At MCF, My Cowboys Family on YouTube for almost 7 years. Man, we're getting close to getting that 7 and beyond over here. Never forget the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, go Cowboys. Let's get that 6 and beyond. Thank you all for dropping your knowledge in the chat literally all night long. These 2 hours was power-packed news, info, and updates. So thank you for that. And also appreciate the drops of love from above tonight. Dwayne Broussard kicking it off. Jason Renfro, Cab52, Skeptical Fan, Calvin Richard, and Mark Hosepian, as well as the After Dark session, SCO971, Marissa, and McLovin. So thank you all. We kicked off the Monday. We're ready. Tomorrow we probably will not be able to do the show tomorrow, guys, unless something major happens for the Cowboys. Probably going to be tough to do the show tomorrow night, but we'll definitely be back by Wednesday. So, and catch you up on the Tuesday, Wednesday, show there. Again, assuming the Cowboys do something. And there's some news out there on the Cowboys. As I said, this is free agency time for the Cowboys, so we're well aware and on watch. But tomorrow's going to be tough for us. We got some plans. Tuesdays are tougher for us. But we will try our best to get out here and do another MCF, another My Cowboys Family news, info, and update daily session as we try to do this. Now, baby, as we wrap it up here and clock out and drop out for the night and relock and reload for another show, probably on Wednesday or tomorrow. We'll say Wednesday. What do we got to do, baby, before we drop out of here for tonight?
We got to drop the beat.
Oh, yeah. That beat has officially been dropped. And again, appreciate you all for chilling here with us as we wrapped up the news, info, and updates of all the stuff going on in Dallas, in the world of the Dallas Cowboys. Wrap up here on another Cowboys chat up here on MCF, My Cowboys Family. Thank you all again. Stephen Jones, trying to be slick out there with some deals, just throwing out a couple pennies out there. Damien Wilson back, Zeke officially back, and Michael Gallup, even though he was already gone, officially gone to the Raiders in Vegas. So, hey, we gave you that and much more here. Some options in free agency, some number changes, and some, of course, always rookie updates. We'll be doing that probably this whole week. Thank you guys once again right here on MCF. It's about that navy blue, silver too, star over everything. Never, ever forget the number one thing right here on My Cowboys Family. Much love to everyone in the house, even the haters. Thank you all. Appreciate you all. Don't forget, guys, hit that like button for the stream, the analytics, all that stuff. Keep getting the family growing here. Just keep growing the family. Almost 35,000 subscribers. So subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell to all videos so you know we're going live. And if you're not sure, you can join the Discord. We drop it there. We drop it on Twitter or X at My Cowboys Family, all social media. So you know we're going live right here at My Cowboys Family. On that note, guys, you're watching on the replay. Comment below, hit the like. Much love to everybody. We'll see you back tomorrow, or probably Wednesday. We'll see you back. Stay safe. Much love. Peace, and never, ever forget, go Cowboys!